Starting recording now. Okay, it is recording. Let's do this thing. Full gear, full gear. We're back again. Once again, another joint review. It had to be done. A little bit off the fly, but this had to be done. But let my co-host introduce himself right now first. Let him take the floor for a second.
Yo, what's good? It's Black Shxggy. No A's, all X's, DAR Elite Gang. We in here, bro. Happy to do this with you, homie. I don't think we've ever done one of these before, so yeah, I'm happy to be here. Good show, good vibes. Let's get it.
Yes, definitely first time we have reviewed a show together and whatnot. So yeah, we had many people on, but yeah, first time with you. Honestly, because I actually was gonna have it was gonna be like more people on this thing in a way, but not that many people, but at least anybody that saw the show and whatnot. But like I said, just how can I say this? Either unfortunate circumstances or some people just had some stuff to take care of and whatnot that they could not see the show tonight. So I'll probably get to those people on a later date or later on and whatnot. But right now, like I said, yes, me and you, we are reviewing the show tonight. Full Gear 2021, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Target Center. A very long pay-per-view tonight, I should say. When did this start? I know we live in different time zones,
Always.
but I think it started about 6 o'clock. Well, I guess the pre-show started over here and went off at around 11 p.m. my time. So that was the start and the ending to it. These AEW pay-per-views are pretty long.
Yeah, man. Whatever the media call that Tony Khan just did, he said this was about to be another 4-hour banger. So I mean, nigga was a lying, bro. So that's what we got. For better or worse. I mean, it felt bloated, I'd say. I mean, there was stuff on here I definitely would have chopped out. But I mean, we can get all into that later. But as far as the overall thought, yeah, that 4 hours. I mean, I didn't watch the pre-show, so I can understand if you started with the pre-show, it's even longer. But since I didn't, it still felt long to me, bro.
Yes, it would. It felt long either way. If you watched the pre-show or you didn't watch the pre-show, because it was like two things that happened on the pre-show. Because the first part that happened, I know they had Dante Martin out there, and I guess Lio Rush was not there. I think commentary had said that I mean, they said his grandmother died, so he was not going to be there tonight. And with I think with Dante Martin, when you saw on Rampage, I guess they would get the answer: is he going to join Team Taz? Which we did see Team Taz, sit in the skybox all night, and then the Acclaim came out, and I guess they said whatever bars they could. I'm trying to remember what they said, but talking about how Lio Rush is going to retire 15 times. Still waiting on that. But they said, what's the answer
Huh.
and everything? Because I guess the Acclaim is on Team Taz's side, or I don't think they're in it, or they're not in it. I'm not really sure. But
I don't know why anybody would want to be for real.
yeah, I forget Team Taz is still. I forget there's still a thing. What Ricky Starks? He just commentates on Rampage every week now.
Bro, they had the nerve to put these niggas in the skybox like they important on their show, bro. Like
Yeah,
we barely see these dudes, bro.
Yeah, we had seen them all night though for some reason. Like we barely see them, and now all of a sudden, like we see them sitting there all night. Like it's like Hobbs, like he's here, here and there. Starks, the last time he wrestled was with what? Cage, and where's that guy been lately? And Hook, well, he's Hook, so it's like, look, we gotta get more people to
He's
join the
over.
team.
I don't know why, but he's over.
I think he's like some internet meme or something like that. Because I'm like, why is he over again now? Like he hasn't wrestled yet. I've seen him do nothing. So like, how is he over again? I'm trying to figure that out. But yeah, I guess they were trying to get Dante Martin's answer, and like I said, claim they were going to do something, but Dante just ended up, doing a dive onto the outside of the ring, and that was it. So, he's from Minneapolis and whatnot. So, of course, the hometown boy is going to get a pop. But I guess he's not with Team Taz and them, so that's his answer. So
You know what?
that's the,
Now that I was thinking right off before you said that he's the hometown boy, because I forgot about that. I was really wondering why this would even be on the pre-show. But now that you said that he's the hometown boy, because I forgot, now I'm questioning even more why this was on the pre-show when you could have just done the match he had with Ari Davari on Rampage and put that on the pre-show of this show to give more hype for the pay-per-view. Because I mean, I didn't see that women's tag match, but from what I heard, it did the opposite of hyping somebody up for the pay-per-view. But
yeah, true. Because like you said, everything you just explained right there, yeah, they could have just done that with this whole little Taz thing, and with the first pre-show match was what Jamie Hayter and Nyla Rose versus Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida, and you were questioning earlier in the night. Wait a minute, they got Shida on the pre-show, and they couldn't just do Shida versus D3 or at least a tournament TBS match or something.
see, because before you said that that was the tag match, I thought Shida wasn't wrestling because they were trying to build this story that she was hurt with the leg, so they were saving all that for an Nyla match. But when you told me that she was in the match wrestling, I'm like, well, why you ain't just do the match you've been building all this time, the one that people are actually interested in, we know was good. Like, why you ain't just do that as opposed to just throwing this random tag match together? Like, why are Nyla and Jamie Hayter teaming up and like, well, what are we doing here, bro?
And it wasn't even really that good of a match, to be honest with you. And they had Deeb in the crowd, basically sitting at ringside and whatnot. So she was already out there. And like you just said, they could have just been building to that, because this was just kind of filler. It was just kind of there to be there. And, most of the time I just kept hearing Vicky Guerrero yelling throughout the entire time. But hey, she got an Eddie chant, though. Well, we're going to hear a lot of Eddie chants tonight.
Yeah. They okay, so historically the pre-show is used to allegedly build hype for the pay-per-view, right? If you log in on YouTube or whatever and you see this match going on, it's supposed to entice you to buy the pay-per-view, right?
Yes.
So later on in the show, we get the Cody and Malachi tag team match and all that. I'd argue that that should have been on the pre-show to actually get people to want to watch the main show, so the main show wouldn't feel bloated, and that match could have some time to breathe on the pre-show, and it actually be a match that people could see and be like, "Oh, this is what AEW is doing tonight. Well, let me tune into this pay-per-view." Now I know you don't want to put Cody on the pre-show, whatever, but I'm just saying if the goal of the pre-show is pay-per-view, this tag match is not the wave, bro. this ain't the match to do that with.
Yes, because the Cody, the Cody Pac Malachi and Andrade match, that could have been on Dynamite TV when you think about it. And like you said, with this pre-show match with the women's one, because what I think Sheeta ended up pinning Nyla Rose with, I think, a roll up and whatnot. It just felt like you just put this on here because we got to get everybody in the card in a way. Well, almost
And you know what
everybody.
that tells me? That tells me that when Sheeta and Nyla finally meet in the tournament match, Nyla's just going to get her win back. So it's like, why did we do this?
Yeah, that basically just kind of
Just so
gave it
Sheeta could
away.
get a win over Nyla. Pointless, bro. But
And
Tony
now
fixed it.
it's oh yeah, yeah, Tony Khan, yeah, the savior of the women's division. Yeah, he's fixed the division. Yeah, we're gonna get some more about him fixing the division. Hey man, we gotta remember, he paid the NWA and whatnot. Hey, I paid my talent. I should get credit for that.
You
Okay,
can't
okay,
forget
Money
that,
Mark.
bro.
Okay, yeah, okay, Money Mark. Yeah, you gotta make sure everybody knows. I paid my talent on that show. Yeah, you sent like 3 lower tier people of the division down there. Okay, you act like you paid for the whole event. Like I just thought, like, so you just said that NWA ain't got no money, right? And they can't afford to pay talent.
It's
Hey
like
man,
I'm a strong proponent of not just doing stuff for the sake of doing it. Like I understand people who want more women stuff on the show, but when we're talking about women not being booked effectively, this tag match is a strong contender of reasoning for why we say stuff like that. Like just throwing a random tag match together for the sake of having another women's match on the card, as
yeah,
opposed to giving us a women's match with some meat to it. I I don't get it, man.
yes, and you kind of got some of the better talent on the pre-show, not on the main show.
Deep Sheeta was right there. It was right there. I don't know, bro. I don't
Could
know.
have done it again. So, like I said, the pre-show is the pre-show. It's nothing much to really talk about. Like you just said, I'm sure Rose will get the win back over Sheeta whenever that tournament match is. So they basically just gave it away. And the only other thing, and I know they announced this later on the night, but another, I guess, part of pre-show, which is going to happen on Wednesday now. What they went to the best friends, and I guess they talked to Orange Cassidy, since what they're gonna face the Butcher and the Blade or something this Wednesday, and he says, "Oh, I'm gonna bring in one of my dogs." So yeah, Ishii is gonna be on the show this Wednesday.
Just
Tomohiro
casually
Ishii.
bringing Ishii in. That's cool, man.
Because yeah, Ishii isn't currently in America right now because New Japan's got a show currently going on while we're talking on this review, and whatnot. So he is supposed to be on that show later on the night and whatnot. So hey, more New Japan guys showing up. That's cool. Yeah, these guys are in chaos now. But here's another thing: can we just end this Matt Hardy, Cassidy, best friends, whatever this feud is at this point? Because what is the point to this again?
Man, don't even get me started on this on this Matt Hardy Orange Cassidy stuff, man. I told you back when that Rampage match happened with Hobbs and Orange Cassidy how I felt about it, and my feelings haven't changed, especially seeing how this match this week ended.
I
Bullshit,
can't.
bro.
I can't get over that
Trash.
elbow drop. I can't get over that elbow drop last night. That shit was just so funny, and I just sat there just laughing like, what was that? I said, that's the finish. That's the
The
finish.
crazy thing is, I looked away. I'm over here scrolling through Twitter. I looked away and missed it, but I didn't think it mattered because I never thought Matt Hardy was going to beat him. So when he did, I was like, oh, "What? Okay, that's just it, huh? All right."
Yeah, I'm like, oh, Matt won. I'm like, okay, so this feud's over, right? I don't want to see it anymore. Please just move on to something else because all these guys look like jobbers out here. I'm sick of seeing them. And I even told myself, you know what? I'm glad I watched SmackDown because I've watched the better Hardy brother win that night. I'm like, it's good to see both Hardy boys win on the same night though on two different shows.
You know, it's funny you just brought up the better Hardy brother because during the Falls Count Anywhere match, I was really thinking to myself like it's crazy how AEW brought in Matt and Christian when more people are probably interested in seeing Jeff and Edge.
That's true.
Because I'm listening to how the crowd reacts to Christian and now Matt Hardy at this point, and I'm kind of like I feel like the crowd has died a lot on both of them. And you look on the other show, Edge comes out, huge pop. Jeff Hardy comes out and he loses all the time, and people still love Jeff. And it's like
He still gets a big
I don't
pop.
know,
People still love him. They
man.
chant his name. And yeah, I'll say at least Christian was still kind of over with the crowd for a minute, but that's kind of died down. Matt Hardy, that kind of just died a while ago, and I was there to see it live. So like this dude barely gets a pop unless he does some delete thing and everybody follows along. Then nah, Matt is just not getting the pop. But like you said, like Edge and Jeff Hardy, the bigger stars. And I like Christian, but it's not like Christian was ever that top of the game. Maybe a little sometime, but not that much. So like with him and Matt, it's kind of like, oh, it's these guys. We're gonna give them a polite applause. Probably more to Christian though.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what it is. It's like, yeah, we're happy to see you. You're still doing your thing. We give you respect, but in terms of actual investment in what you're doing, nah, it doesn't seem to really be there. I tweeted out yesterday after the Orange Cassidy Matt Hardy match. I'm like, well, why does everybody in the Hardy family office just come off as not cool? like
They've made Private Party
like
less
Private
cool.
Party used to be so cool, bro. Butcher and Blade look really cool. Even Matt Hardy before this was cool, but this whole thing has just made everybody feel so whack, bro.
They all look like jobbers. They all look like job guys. And it's like you said, it made Private Party less cool. At first I was interested, but then it's like, yeah, these guys are jobbers and they look lame. They all look lame. And going against Cassidy and the best friends, I'm not the biggest fan of them, but it makes everybody look lame in this situation. I know Trent Beretta is hurt right now, but still, it just looks bad all across the board. And I just like, dude, just end this thing. That's why I kind of wonder, like, so Okada let these guys into chaos. Why now? Even though some of them were already in chaos before.
Yeah, I think they even said that Chuck E. T was like, we're already in chaos.
Yeah, him and Trent were. Everybody else is like, yeah, you guys were never in there. So why did we let that? And now we're gonna send Ishii over there to help them. So I'm like, well, they are now part of the stable. So okay,
So
chaos
Butcher and
spirit.
Blade, they about to lose again.
Oh yeah. Stone Pitbull, they losing again. So yeah, that's just that whole thing is so stupid. I'm just sick of seeing it. So yeah, we'll see what happens on Wednesday. But hey, more New Japan guys showing up. So they're waiting on the bigger names though. But let's get to the first official match of this show. Um, Darby Allin, MJF.
Great stuff, man.
Darby, of course, with a giant car crash, killing a guy. It looks like, and crawled out of the burning car and threw a Molotov cocktail at it. And
Murdered
then,
him.
and then he came out with Sting.
Just live on camera, just killed a guy. And we're just like, okay, do you think, Darby?
Murder. Murder.
Sure.
But yeah, this is a good match though. This is a really good match to kick off the show. Very enjoyable. They did give these guys a lot of time out there. Like I said, this is just the opener, but it did start off really good. I think until towards the end, though, because of course, something screwy was going to happen, and you saw some of the Pinnacle come out, and then Sting just kills these guys with a baseball bat and a steel chair and whatnot. But then we see MJF get the skateboard at ringside, telling Darby, do it, hit me with it. But of course, I kind of figured what was going to happen next. Darby's not going to hit him with it. Gives it to the ref, distraction. MJF gets his little diamond ring thing and then knocks him out and then beats him with like a side headlock takedown.
Let me ask you something, because you said right on the nose that some of the Pinnacle we saw. When was the last time we saw all of them together, man?
Um, Blood and Guts, or was it the Stampede thing?
Because I swear FTR is just hanging with Andrade now. Are they like his boys now? Like we just
Well,
said whatever with the Pinnacle.
well, Andrade's paying them off.
I mean, yeah, that's the relationship, but they seem much more content kayfabe wise, just getting paid off by Andrade than actually being with the Pinnacle. I mean, wouldn't it make more sense if all of the Pinnacle came out with MJF to help him beat Darby, and all of the Pinnacle came out to help FTR beat the Lucha Bros? Like, I don't understand why we're breaking away from each other. Like, I don't get it.
Good point, because like you said, we haven't really seen them all together. It just kind of separately in different feuds, and it's like, okay, Andrade's paying them off, and you're cool with it, but like you said, why didn't they all just come out and help MJF, or like with FTR's match? Why didn't they all just come out and help, you know, FTR. Then it's like they kind of keep them separate. And I was like, so at first I was like, so is Andrade part of the team then, or like what's going on with that? Because everybody's almost in a stable in this company nowadays. So unless you're in some type of clique or group, so
Yeah, and
that's
I
a good
thought
point.
Andrade and Black were going to make their own little thing, but they were infighting tonight, so I don't know what's going on anymore.
Team NXT.
Yo, I tweeted that out. That's yo, we got 3 former NXT champions out here in this match. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, so NXT, they're back again and whatnot. But yeah, good question though. Yeah, like, are they all in the same team and whatnot? But yeah, MJF though, he got the win over Darby. So you know, basic but good heel stuff at the same time. Overall, really good match. Good opener.
Yeah, I don't have any complaints about it. It did everything it was supposed to, establish these two as two of the, as JR put it, pillows of AEW.
Oh yeah,
Um,
fuck that.
so yeah, I mean, MJF goes over. I kind of wish Darby would have won, but because I don't understand why people, like, anytime it comes to the 4 guys, they say, Darby, Sammy, Jungle Boy, and MJF, that everyone just automatically assumes MJF should be the guy to get pushed over the other 3 of them. And I'm like, I mean, why not Darby? Why can't he win? But I'm not upset that he lost. I just don't understand why it couldn't be Darby. But it made sense. MJF won with heelish means, and yeah, I don't got no complaints. I mean, I know you said it made Darby dumb, but you know, what are you
Yeah,
gonna
just
do?
like fall for the oldest trick in the book in a way. And like you said, the whole 4 pillars thing and whatnot. In a way, I felt like they needed to give MJF some more heat back since he lost at the last pay-per-view and whatnot. So I guess they want to keep this whole heel thing pretty strong. I did really think Darby was about to go over. I had kind of thought that, but I'm like, oh, they had MJF still win. I'm like, okay, yeah, it keeps good heat on him and whatnot, and until they move on to the next thing. I don't know if it's gonna be for the title, and Nat. We'll get to more of that later on, but um, yeah, it just puts heat on MJF. So like I said, good match, good opener. Crowd was really into it, so not bad. Next though, tag team titles on the line. FTR still holding those AAA tag team titles. It's hard to tell what theme song they got this week, but hey, they still got the remix Midnight Express theme. Go against the Lucha Brothers. I think this was for Veterans Day, right? Because they had like the army thing going on and camo.
I have no idea. I guess so. I mean, that if you're selling that, I'll buy it. Sure.
But this is a really good match too until kind of once again the finish of it then. But overall, this is really good. I like both of these teams. They usually kill it. I thought Hardwood had a fantastic match with Pac the other night, um, and stuff. But this was really good. This could have gone either way. I actually kind of thought they was about to win when they had to use one of the titles to hit one of the Lucha Brothers with. I actually thought that was gonna happen.
That was a great
And
callback.
yeah, Steph, yeah, I do remember that. That was a good one because I do remember when he got hit with the title, so that was good. And even I guess once again, like I said earlier, we see more Eddie Guerrero tributes throughout the night because when the whole Three Amigos thing came up, and then Pentagon ended up kind of reversing that and then doing his own Three Amigos, and then Phoenix hitting the frog splash and whatnot.
Yeah, and they kicked out. So I was glad we saw actually the Frog Splash get the win later on in the night.
Yeah, because
But
I'm sure.
yeah, this was dope, man.
Yeah, because I'm sure people are probably wondering at first, like, man, why so many Eddie Guerrero tributes? Because today is technically, today he passed away like 16 years ago in the city of Minneapolis. So
Right.
it's kind of crazy that it falls on this date and whatnot. I was like, damn, 16 years? I'm like, shit. So, no, I was like, no wonder we saw so many Eddie tributes. I swear to God, I almost thought somebody would have came out with a lowrider tonight. I would have loved to see
That would
that.
have been so fire, dude.
I would have loved to see that. I know they can't play his music and everything, but I would have loved just to see him come out with the lowrider. So
I tell you what, man. Instead of doing the soldier thing they did, if the Lucha Bros came out in a freaking low rider, that would have been nice.
y'all could have Chavo come out and do something. Yeah, I would have loved something. For, like they had the low ride out. That would have made me smile if they brought the low ride out. So that would have been really cool to see and whatnot. But the tag match itself, like I said, it was a really good match until the finish came up
Yeah, I
when
didn't like that
FTR.
finish.
Yeah, until FTR got like the Los Super Ranas mask, and I guess they were trying to say who was the legal man, but the Lucha Brothers just ended up hitting a finish and they won like it was nothing.
What was the point of that?
It's kind of easy to tell, and the referee saw who they were. He already knew. It was like, okay, he's the legal man. I know who this guy is. So it was kind of like, what was the point of that?
It didn't even lead to anything because he got hit. Like when it happened, I thought the whole point of it was when Phoenix got the pin, or I think it was Phoenix who got the pin. When Phoenix got the pin, I thought the ref was going to be like, "Wait, he wasn't the legal man, so we're going to have to restart it and continue the match." Because Penta even took dude's mask off, so I'm like, "Oh, so you can clearly see that that wasn't the legal man." But no, they just ended it, and that was it. They retained. I'm like, okay, then what was the point of that? Why did we do that just finish if it was just going to be a straight up victory and that's that? Unless this is going to continue next week or something, like let it play out. My bad.
Yeah, like a rematch. So one of the two, because I was like, that was kind of an odd finish. Like really good match, but still a very odd looking finish. So yeah, Lucha Brothers still won, but it was kind of odd with the whole mask thing and whatnot. But still overall pretty good match, not bad at all. Um, but what's the next match here? The finals of the world title eliminated tournament. Bryan Danielson, Miro.
I think I like this match more than Twitter did. Because when I hopped on Twitter after this match, people were like, "Oh, this was Danielson's weakest match. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that." And blah, blah. I'm like, dang, I thought this match was fire, dude.
Really, his weakest? I wouldn't say his weakest now.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe you and me watch different matches than everybody else, but I thought it was lit, bro.
I thought it was a pretty good match. I thought it told a good story, and whatnot and stuff. Bryan, of course, some say being a smaller guy, basically using like agility and submission holds, to take down Miro. Miro using his strength and whatnot. Focusing on Bryan, either leg or trying to go. I think it was like focus on the arm several times throughout this match. So it told a pretty good story. Almost somewhat like a David versus Goliath in a way, but it was like I want to say speed versus power to some extent, or maybe more technical.
Yo, when he got Brian in the game over, I was like, yo, nobody's gotten out of this yet. So I don't know. I bought into that. I was like, no way, they're about to have my man tap out to the game over, bro. Then he got the rope. Yo, I was all in on this match. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I was all in on this joint, bro.
Oh yeah, cause like Bryan, he he like it's one thing I always like about the matches he's had. It's like it's almost like you expect him to win by the label lock, but he always transition into something else and then wins by a different submission hold and whatnot. Cause with them being on the top rope and he hit like a DDT and then just flipped into a guillotine, which it was it an immediate tap out or was like an immediate pass out? Because like as soon as he put the submission in, it was already over.
I think he was already out from the DDT, and then he just locked on the guillotine just to put him to sleep. Because I don't think he tapped. I think he was just out.
Because the ref had called that
But I love that finish, man.
very fast, very fast. So it was, yeah, very good finish though. Like I thought it was overall a good match. Like I've said before, Bryan he don't miss. He does not miss.
You don't miss.
He ain't missed one bit
Not
ever
one
since
miss.
he came in this company.
That finish was so fire, bro. An established weakness of Miro's is that DDT. My man did it from the freaking top rope, dropped him on his head, and then locked in a neck submission, bro. It's chef's kiss. I got everything I needed from that match. Maybe it's just me, but I freaking loved it, dog.
And listen, Bryan was gonna win this whole tournament regardless. This whole tournament was designed for him to win anyways. I knew that straight from the get go. The only thing that didn't happen, I feel like in the original plan, I think the finals was mostly just gonna be him versus Moxley, but Moxley's in rehab right now, so Miro was a last minute addition and whatnot. But Bryan was gonna win this whole tournament regardless. So I'm not surprised that he won and whatnot.
Well, I mean, before when people were saying that Moxley was going to turn heel, I had no problem believing that Bryan was going to be the catalyst of him turning heel. So I didn't see that Moxley couldn't have beat Bryan in some either underhanded or extremely violent way that would get him to be Hangman's first challenger for the title. So maybe they play with that idea a little more when it was Moxley and not Miro. But yeah, I'm all in on Bryan winning. That's cool, fine. We're going to get. I mean, spoilers for the main event. We're going to get Bryan and Hangman now, so I'll be real interested to see what the dynamic is with that. But yeah, let's see.
Yeah, because now I'm kind of sitting there wondering, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Bryan win the title already in a way, in some type of fashion. I don't know why. I just got a feeling.
Immediate heel, heel turn, bro.
Like, you just look at all these Danielson matches he's been putting on. It's like I said, he hasn't missed. He just keeps putting on like killer match after killer match, and it even got to be like the best match. You just gonna kill it one way or another. Like ever since he's come in, so it just I don't know, man. It's just like this is what happens when you let the cuffs loose off of him. This is what happens when you let Bryan cut loose.
Yeah, man.
So this dude is a monster. But yeah, Danielson got the win, so he's next in line for the world title. Next though, Falls Count Anywhere match. The Young Bucks and Adam Cole
Baby.
versus the Jungle Express and Christian Cage.
Yeah, good stuff, man. I was man, it was like four bangers in a row. Boom, 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 boom. Just line them up. I mean, I know this probably appeals to me more than you, this kind of match, but I thought it was dope, man. I know you were pissed about that about that BT thumbtack spot
Oh
that Luchasaurus just got
yeah,
up, but
because
I was going
yeah,
nuts.
yeah, because I don't know, some stuff when it has to do with either no selling or if it's a spot fest and whatnot. And listen, it's a Falls Count Anywhere match. Anything is gonna happen. I did like Adam Cole's jacket. I'll say that it was almost like Bret Hart in a way for some reason. So I actually liked his. He's the only one that looked cool out of everyone in the whole elite thing. Because at first I was like, so what's up with the purple going on? I think, or was it? I'm sorry, not purple, but pink and whatnot. I thought Cole, his stuff at least looked cool. So um, that was good. But it's one thing I've noticed about Young Bucks matches for a while now. If you've seen one Young Bucks match, it's almost like you've seen them all. Because even I've gotten to the term of typical Young Bucks match now when watching, and you kind of know what you're gonna see. I will say Christian and Jungle Boy look like they were at least dressed to come to a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Well, that was
Yep.
Street Fight gear. They should have been in the other match.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get the difference. This is basically a street fight, and of course it was gonna be a wild brawl because yes, this is a street fight. So we need to see and this what it was, a lot of crazy stuff going on here. So just insanity brawl all over the place, tables, ladders. I did like that elbow from I think it was Nick Jackson um on the Luchasaurus. Them going through the crowd, Christian jumping off the one of the rafters and whatnot looked pretty cool. It's a lot to call in this match, okay? Because it was a lot going on. even them going to the
Oh
stage
yeah,
and
everything was
whatnot.
going on.
Way too much going on. Multiple low blows, Panama Sunrise off the stage, and like you just said about a few minutes ago, the whole BTE trigger with thumbtacks. But hey, I can hit you with this move, but I'm back up 10 seconds later. What?
To be fair, the guy is wearing a mask. It might give extra padding.
Possibly yes, but at the same time, I was like, oh, okay, come on, come on. That should have been like, this guy should be dead. No, I'm gonna pop up 10 seconds later and just start hitting choke slams. Then I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, okay, so yeah, I just thought that was kind of odd, but like I said, the crowd was into it, but this match was insane. Of
I
course,
mean,
they
I'm mainly being facetious when I'm talking about that spot. Although they do treat him like the way Luchasaurus is handled, they treat him like an unstoppable killing machine where you got to do that a few times before he's down. This didn't bother me nearly as much as the Ty Conti spots later on, but yeah,
got.
man, you can't kill the dinosaur, bro.
Yeah, and I could have done without, you know, Nakazawa, Naka get off my TV, and Cutler out there. Thank thank God they didn't have that fucking Marco Stunt out there. So, like they must be thinking some smart decisions for once in a while. But
Have we seen him for a while? I feel like
fuck
it's
them,
been a minute since I've seen Marco on my TV.
fuck them honestly. But no, we haven't seen him. But hey, that doesn't bother me. So
He's
fuck him.
probably still locked in that closet that
I,
Tully
I
put him in or whatever.
I don't even know. I don't even remember. I don't even remember. Honestly, I don't even really know what you're talking about right now.
It probably hasn't even been that long since we've seen him, but it feels like it's been a while.
Well, hey, they're thinking smart. Don't put him on TV because he kind of brings the group down. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm him off my TV. I ain't got no problem with that. But Christian and them win. Concerto
ugh, brutal.
killed this man with a concerto out there. Jungle Boy, I mean, killed him with a concerto. Yeah, he got hit the move. So yeah, murdered these guys.
Yeah, that concerto was lethal, bro.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
way
like you're gonna kill
Matt
someone.
sold it, he was like shaking and stuff. Jeez, bro.
Yeah, but we
Golly.
see him later on in the night though.
Yeah, he ate that. Apparently, he ate that.
He
See
was dead.
that bothers me more than the Luchasaurus bit.
And then it got, I think the last concerto bothered me because, like, wait, he just killed Cole on Wednesday, but he's going to wrestle on Friday?
At least
He's,
Cole was selling it though, and it was a couple days later.
yeah, I guess he had time to recover and whatnot, but, like, nah, we're going to show up in the next 2 hours of the show back on here later, and, I'm back up again. I'm like, yeah, you should be dead after
Yeah,
that.
that. Yeah,
So,
yeah. Especially how we sold it, made it look like he really died. So I don't know, man, but yeah,
but yeah, he's back up, though. He's back up. But, yeah, Jungle Boy and them win. Match was just insanity. So yeah, they got the win right there. Next though, Cody Rhodes and Pac versus Andrade and Malachi Black.
I'm pretty sure at this point Malachi Black is my favorite wrestler in AEW.
Fans love him, and like you said, 3 out of the 4 guys would be cheered. Hell, Arn Anderson was cheered.
That's hilarious, man.
He got the Glock.
Cody is the only dude who's a babyface, quote unquote, who did the Eddie spot and got booed, bro.
He did that. He spotted that food. He thought he could fire the crowd up. It did not work. It did
That's
not work.
hilarious.
Cody Cena, folks. Cody Cena.
Man,
I will not turn.
got this man out here high fiving kids and stuff, and we're just like, boo, this guy
Uh,
sucks. Over here helping disabled audience members, boo.
oh yeah, yeah. He gave a belt. Yeah, he gave a belt to the kid at the front, and I'm like, so we're gonna boo at him giving a belt to a disabled person?
Paying tribute to Eddie Guerrero, boo. Ooh.
This man could save a baby from a burning fire, and he still get booed. And you know, I hear so many things
It's
like the
hilarious,
guys.
man.
It's funny. You know, it's so funny. You know, what they compare him to Cena of how Cena got booed. Yeah, here's the thing with Cena though. The women and kids actually loved him. You know, it was mostly dudes booing him. Right now, this is everybody booing
Yeah.
him. So it's
Although I
kind of
think he's aware of this. I feel like more with Cena that Cody is actually playing up to this. Like he knows what he's doing.
oh yeah, because he comes out dressed like Homelander. I would assume this.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume this is him gonna turn heel at some point in time and whatnot, because you know the face thing, it's not working. It's just not working, and it's not like he hasn't been heel before, but it's you know when he kept saying like I will not turn, I just said to myself, you know, this is the same shit John Cena would usually say, like, you know, hey, cheer me, boo me, I still love you.
I think it started even more subtly than before he started dressing like Homelander. Because I mean, I don't know if you remember, but he was coming out and having Justin Roberts announce him as the Prince of Pro Wrestling or something like that. And even then, it was like, okay, I think he's more leaning to that side, even if he's not fully there yet. He's teasing that one of these days is going to happen.
And I told you a while for people are already not messing with Cody for a very long time. Okay, he was already being compared to like, you know, either Triple H or you know Jeff Jarrett 2.0 out there. You know, putting himself over or just in these very strange feuds he kept being in because he was already you know separated himself from the whole elite thing and basically his in his own universe in a way and whatnot. You know, apparently he has more power in the company nowadays, but you know, Cody is just like he was always in these like very weird, the strange feuds, and it's like until he gets to some type of big feud, you know, he'll lose decisively, then he'll disappear, you know, do his little TV show or reality show or whatever show he's got going on. He's gonna come back, make this triumphant return, and then get his win back, and you know, he's got to look like the savior or something like that.
It's funny you say that because before the Malachi Black feud, the last interesting feud he had was with Brody Lee. I mean, everything in between that, garbage.
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of strange. Like, oh, you know, he comes back and wins the title. You know, this is before we knew about the circumstances that was going on at the time. But you know, from initial thought, I just felt like, well, Cody put himself over again.
That match
And,
ruled though.
oh yeah, the dog collar match was really good. Yeah, I just like I didn't think he needed the win back though. And oh, his hair's black. So yeah, I just felt like so, and he's like, I'm not turning, I'm not turning. So it did. I just felt like a lot of feuds with Cody were just either strange from that very fast Pentagon one, or the QT one went on forever.
I forgot all about that Pentagon feud. That was so trash.
It didn't Pentagon win, but didn't he just kind of rolled them up and he was gone so they could focus on the Nightmare Family fighting themselves?
Nah, he lost. He did the arm breaker on Cody, and then Cody just rolled him up and beat him.
Oh yeah. Cody won, and that was it.
Trash, bro.
That, that,
Garbage.
that was it. And the QT one was just the most one-sided feud ever. And Cody just basically made his whole squad look like idiots. And I don't know. I don't even remember what happened to the go-go dude nowadays. I already went back to England to what I've heard. That's what my neighbor tells me. And, you know, just I can end racism promo and
Yeah,
it,
that's where it flipped for me, man. That when he first did the promo, it didn't bother me until I started marinating on it, and I was like, wait, what are we doing here, man?
like
Is this the direction? And this was right before the Agogo feud, so it was like, okay, so this is the Cody now. He's Super America now. Wow.
you've declared war on England and black people apparently. And then he's black, like he's black also. So who are you declaring war on? And but he's talking about, you know, segregation and this, like, you know, I have the first interracial baby in wrestling apparently, and just I can't. I still go back to that promo, and when he was cutting it, I swear to God, I felt like this was a planted thing. But when they show like the one white dude with the Black Lives Matter T-shirt on, I felt like that was so planted.
Oh
That
my
felt
god.
so planted to me. I'm like, why do I feel like y'all put him out there on purpose? And y'all just so y'all can get the camera on him.
Oh my god. Yo, you know what? What that promo did was make me rethink things through hindsight. Because just the other day, somebody posted that it was the anniversary, because it was Jade's anniversary or whatever, of
That's
her first promo when she got in Cody's face, and then Brandy came out doing her best Hood impression.
oh god.
And then that through that whole feud, and they even had that Jerry Springer segment with the
She
two
pulled out
black
her
women
black
pulling
card that
hair.
she
Yeah, I'm
she
like, okay, so the that Cody promo makes me look at that stuff even worse, because I don't know how I feel like as a black dude, this stuff being written for a woman like Brandy who's not really like that, trying to imitate that, and Cody, Mr. America, being there writing and co-signing all it. Like, I don't know, bro. It make me feel weird, but I'm trying not to hate Cody just because everybody else hates Cody, but and I'm just hoping he's self-aware about everything he's doing. But I could be wrong because he could just be self-absorbed and up his own ass, bro.
I've heard that for a while. Apparently, if you watch his reality show, it does show that part, and the whole promo and everything. So I only watched one episode of it. I did not watch the rest of it, but a lot of people just kind of felt like him and Brandy were up full of themselves. So, like I said, they want to be the new Triple H and Stephanie sometime. I kind of said that a while ago and whatnot. But when you talk about the Brandy promo and just okay, she wanted to pull out her black card that night, and I'm sitting there like,
This is
okay,
not
so,
you.
but apparently everybody said she cut. That was the best promo she ever cut, apparently, and stuff. But it's like, oh, okay, so oh, you want to pull out your black card tonight? I see. I'm like, okay, and like I've said this before about Cody. It's like he wants to be Dusty in a way. See, this would have worked with Dusty in that promo because I said this before. With Dusty, he came from the gutter and he fought his way to the top. He was able to appeal, to the common man that that's trying, that's always being somewhat held down, but trying to fight their way to the top. With Cody,
Facts.
it's like, dude, you already at the top. You were born to a wrestling family. When he's cutting the promo out there, you come off as like white privileged rich guy.
He's an EVP.
But hey, you got power. We know you got power at this company.
This man on TV shows has his own TV show.
I heard the
Friends with
reality
Hollywood
is canceled.
superstars. Oh, he had one.
Apparently that's canceled. I'm not sure if it is, but I don't know if they're gonna make another season of that. But I felt like he's not Dusty. Okay, it's like with Dusty, he was just able to appeal to more people. It's like with Cody, it's just like snobbish asshole in a way.
And I don't really know at what point it fell off because we were all on board with Cody when he fought Dustin in the Sean Spears and the MJF feuds and the Jericho feuds. We were all on board with Cody, and then something happened where all of a sudden we were like, well, I don't know about Cody no more. And it was way before that promo, way before all that, where all of a sudden it was like, well, why is this Cody, existing, knowing full well that he's an EVP and everything? Like, what is this babyface version of Cody fighting against the odds? Like, this man can't just, throw a check at somebody and solve his problems.
And it's like, yeah, where does this go? And then when you involve the other Nightmare family members, it's like, who are all these guys? Because when he came out with all these people, sometime this giant squad, I'm like, who are these people? How many people are in this group? And then you got, which was with the whole QT thing. It's like, so let me get this straight. His underling turned on him to form his own crew with some of the other crew, and it's like some internal civil war thing, and it doesn't make sense. So I just look at with Cody sometimes. It's like, dude, where is this going? And I say he's in his own universe. It's like he's either tried to put himself over, or like you said, he's not really aware of what's going on. And like you said, People are mostly probably turned off by the whole race promo. And you said it one time before, like, you kind of probably expect more white people to cheer for him more than black people. I just said, like, everybody just don't like him. That's what I always thought.
Seems that way now. I mean, he was getting cheered in that what I don't even remember during that Agogo match. He was getting some cheers, and then he just wasn't like like at all. I don't know if it happened during that match where people just said, "All right, enough is enough." Probably when he beat him. That's probably when it happened officially. But yeah, people just don't like Cody anymore.
I blame that neck tattoo.
That didn't help. Look at the American flag tatted on their neck, man.
I'm like, dude, like, you got to be careful. Okay, we get it. You want to be, pro America. We get you the American nightmare and whatnot. But, you can go back to the promo. He kind of said before, too, it means a lot of different things nowadays. It's different. So you got to be careful doing that stuff now and whatnot. And sometimes you wonder, like, who is Cody trying to appeal to and whatnot. It's like, okay, dude, we get it. Your wife is black, but you're not down with the set like that. So it's hard to tell sometimes with Cody in many different aspects of just many things that we already discussed. Just like, where does this really lead, or where is he really lying to with? Because I'm surprised they just haven't had more Brandy out there with him now at this point.
And here's the thing: if he cut that promo at a totally different time, maybe it would have gone over better. But he cut this promo at the height of protests, like people going off about the Breonna Taylor stuff and all of that, and he cut this promo like yeah, we got it together, guys. We're all cool now. Blacks and whites coming together and free love or whatever. And but it's like
You got to remember, he's got the first interracial baby in wrestling.
apparently, I mean, I don't understand why he cut that promo at the height of the the hatred going on in the company on both sides. I don't know, man, but
And
I feel like we could talk about Cody all day.
yeah, because hey, man, his kid's name is Liberty, and I said before, if he has another one, he will name his next kid Justice.
See, that's the type of stuff that makes me feel like he's not self-aware. You going to name your kid Liberty, bro? Come on.
It'll be Liberty and Justice for all.
Come on, bro. Like, I'm trying to give Cody the benefit of the doubt here, bro. You named your kid Liberty. I don't know, man.
And sometimes I feel like with Cody, it's like, dude, like it's not like Cody's. I want to say he's a main event guy, but I always felt like once he left WWE, and I just felt like he thought he was a main event guy. But even people I know, like he's not. Like, he's like in that upper. I don't want to say upper mid card. Like, you put him close to the main event, but is he that big of a star to be world
I
champion?
I honestly think he did himself a disservice because I think at the beginning of AEW, I had no problem believing he was a main eventer and could be world champion over there. But as soon as he took himself out of the world title picture and became the habitual mid carder in AEW, feuding with people we don't care to see on TV, now I don't see him that way. Because, I mean, he did that to himself. When you had a months and months long feud with QT Marshall and his goons, I don't see you being the head of the table anymore, for lack of a better term. But I feel like he did that to himself because when he was facing Jericho for the world title, I had no problem believing that. Yeah, if he beat Jericho right now, he shouldn't have. But if he did, sure, go right ahead, Cody. You could be world champion. We're on board with this story you're telling. But as soon as he lost that and moved himself down to the mid card, no, never again, bro.
It's just like, I felt that was a bad idea now in hindsight, take yourself out of the world title picture, because it's like, how far is he really going to go up at this point? And it's like, if he's not going to go for the world title, he's going to go back for the TNT belt again? We've already seen that. So,
Here's
it's
the thing
kind of,
though, if he went back on his word and challenged for the world title in a heel turn, he could be right there again. I believe he'd be one of the biggest heels in wrestling if he just said, you know what, screw this. I'm an EVP. I want the world title. And he went for it. I think that would get over.
And he was a heel before in Ring of Honor. He was the world champion in Ring of Honor. He was a heel.
With
Him
the
and
ring.
Britt. He had the ring. He had Brandy. They were doing like the whole, hey, I'm rich and I'm better than you type of thing going on.
Exactly.
You know, yeah, you know, like, hey, I'm rich. My wife is hot. And yeah, you're not me. So it worked over there.
It's all facts,
It's
Cody.
so don't know what's going on here. And like you said, this tag match though, I could have just saw this on Dynamite. I don't think it really needed to be on pay per view, and I felt like the crowd kind of started to get a little bit restless. Then
It should have been on the pre-show, man. I'm gonna stand by that. That instead of that tag match we got, this match should have been on the pre-show.
yeah, because like I said, it wasn't a bad match, and you know it was cool to see Pac get the win, Black Arrow and whatnot. But did it really need to be on the pay per view? And then like we talked about FTR, we saw FTR again back out there after the match just to attack Pac and Cody.
Yeah, so I guess it'll continue, but I don't know to what end. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing. How far is this gonna go? So, like I said, it wasn't a bad match. It just didn't really need to be this late in the show and whatnot. Like I said, it could either been pre-show or you could have just saw this on Dynamite. But yeah, like the fact still stands that Cody's still getting booed out of the building. So, like I said, the match was the match. It wasn't that bad though.
nah, but
Sometimes
yeah, you're right that this was definitely the match where the crowd started dipping out. Like they were pretty hot for the first three matches, first four matches, and then this match came on and they started dipping out, and they dipped out for a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder, like, where does Andrade go from here? Or they didn't tag him with Blxck? Because even I feel like he's kind of, been on the wayside for a while.
I mean, I don't even know if they're going to do that because they kept infighting in this match, like they weren't on the same page, and I didn't really know where that came from.
Yeah, no one could
Because
get along. None of the teams could get along with each other.
it makes way more sense for Cody and Pac to not get along, but Black and Andrade been on the same page this whole time, and they just all of a sudden are like, "Hey, I'm gonna tag myself in. If you don't like it, go to hell." Like, where'd that
Yeah.
come from, bro?
So now, like, I'm seeing, like, so both teams are now against each other? Like, okay, what's going on here? Like so I understand with Pac and Cody, but now it's like, oh, the heels are turning on each other now. It's like,
Why?
okay, that's kind of strange.
And after the match with the beatdown, Black was backing up with FTR, and they left Andrade in the ring. So I mean, I don't know if that was by design or that's just how it went, but I don't know what we're doing, but it just seems like they haven't really found anything for Andrade to do since he's come to AEW, and this was the first thing that kind of got him where he needed to be. So I hope we're not regressing on that because my man's starting to finally get some momentum, and I don't know.
Yeah, 'cause that's what I feel like a lot of some of these guys, sometimes they bring in, it's like, you got something, but then now it's like, okay, where do you go on from here for a while then? Because now it's kind of, you kind of, like you're on TV, but you're kind of stuck in, I don't want to say purgatory, but, almost in a holding pattern.
Some people aren't even on TV. Like you mentioned Brian Cage earlier. What's he doing?
What happened to him, man? I'd say they messed him up a while ago.
Oh
And
yeah,
and I listen, I know Archer, I know he's healing from his neck right now, but I felt like they messed up Archer a while ago.
sure.
I
Me
just said
too.
they didn't know how to book big guys and whatnot. I kind of felt that. So it's like it's a lot of these guys I felt that didn't really aren't they should be going somewhere better, bigger and better, but it's just like they kind of like, yeah, you're still kind of in the low card in a way, not really that high. Because I'm like, man, this guy should be somewhere higher, but it's like you don't even see them, or if you do
No,
see them, they're not doing. They're kind of in some low level shit.
Now, granted, neither one of us watch Dark consistently, so I don't know what's going on over there. But like, they just brought Jay Lethal in, right? They just brought Bobby Fish in, and then there's more names that potentially could come. And it's like, well, what are we doing with all these people? Like,
Because I've said it before, all these guys that got what if the entire Ring of Honor roster and whoever they just got rid of from WWE recently, they all can't go to AEW because where they gonna fit in now? It's like we can't put everybody at the top of the card, even if you feel that they should be at the top of the card.
That TNT title seemed about to be crazy then, because I don't know, man.
Because like with all these other names, and we're gonna get into that part later, but you know, with all these names that are free on the market right now, where are they all gonna go like that? So it's kind of you just kind of wonder where do they all fit? Do you keep them in the top card? Do you put them in the mid card? So that's why everybody said, oh yeah, we gotta get more Ring of Honor guys. We gotta get Keith Lee or Cross or whoever else was released from the WWE and whatnot.
What'll
Like,
help them is if they officially announce trios titles. That'll give something for a lot of people to do, that aren't really doing anything right now.
yeah, something, because right now it's just kind of we're bringing all these people, but like you said, where do we fit them all in at the same time? So it's kind of tough to do that. But yeah, I'm gonna get into them in a second. But kind of move on to the next match though. Tay Conti, Britt Baker, uh, women's title on the line.
Yeah, what was that? Yesterday we were talking about this, where I said that the women's title feels like the only championship that never really feels like the challenger's going to win, with very, very little exception of a couple of people. Like, they put Ty Conti in this position, and never on TV has she been presented as she could beat Britt Baker. I mean, commentary, if you listen to commentary tonight, you'd never know that, because they were talking like Ty Conti was the shit. Like,
They said this was Britt Baker's toughest match, her toughest opponent.
like the Chris Statlander match, I never thought Statlander was going to beat her either. But in that match, like, she was beating the hell out of Britt Baker in that last match, man. Dropped her on the head on suplexes and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's just, I know they like Ty Conti, and I do too. But this presentation of just randomly throwing the challenger of the week at Britt Baker without not really any story behind it is not doing her title reign any justice. Because when she finally gets to Thunder Rosa, who I think will beat her for it, are we going to look back on this title reign and say, yeah, she had a great title reign because she beat a bunch of people, but none of the stories were engaging?
Because wasn't this feud even happening? Because it was like, oh, we're going by looks. Who has the better ass and whatnot? Well, we kind of know that by default. Who has the better ass? But
well, they did that on Twitter. Like, that wasn't even on TV. So the real build wasn't even really on TV, except for that one promo that Britt cut, and then them attacking Anna Jay. Otherwise, the build's been non-existent on TV. Like, that whole ass stuff came from Twitter.
yeah, and you talk about the title reign. Go back to Sheeta's title reign. That's the same thing. It was either challenger of the week or challenger of the month. It's just like he's kind of like you knew Sheeta was never really gonna lose the belt, and Sheeta held the belt for like what, almost a year and whatnot, because it was like, okay, who is it this week? Who is it this month? Okay, who's Sheeta facing this time? It's like you never really felt she was ever gonna lose the title. Hey, come on, we had to start bringing people in from different companies and whatnot. Okay, we had to bring in Thunder Rosa, which I probably thought that they had the best match out of Sheeta's whole title reign and whatnot, but at any time, you never thought Sheeta was gonna lose. Okay, we've seen Nyla Rose way too many times with Sheeta and whatnot, and honestly got sick of that. And every match Sheeta ever had in the company, could you blame it on the pandemic to an extent? Possibly. But then again, it's the people you threw at Sheeta, people that were not ready yet or were not really that good. And it's like, yeah, Sheeta had a long title reign, but it's like, can you name like a whole bunch of matches that she had really great against? Because I just always felt like Challenger of the Week, Challenger of the Week, Challenger of the Week. She's gonna lose to Baker. She's gonna lose to Baker. That's the only other threat y'all got in the company right now. Because like, who else was built to that level as Baker? So, you look at the Baker title reign, it's the same as the Shida one.
The most egregious example of this was Britt beating Ruby because Ruby won the number one contender spot. They had that promo, and then they had the match. Instead of like they could have built this over like 3-4 weeks of stuff between the two of them before we got that match, but they blew through that Ruby match in like a week. Like as soon as she showed up, she got the title match. That was it. Like, why couldn't we give her a real story to like that promo they had between the two of them was dope, but why couldn't we build more on that or that be the last thing we see after already them, going at each other or something? Like this challenger of the week stuff it's not inherently bad, but it just feels empty because you can't invest in any of these people because they're not being presented a story for you to sink your teeth into. Like if that Ruby situation happened over the course of some weeks, then we would have been having a completely different conversation. Like I never thought Ruby was going to beat her off rip just like that after a week of being in the company. Like, come on, dog.
Yeah, so like there you go. It's like you kind of just blew through it real fast, and now it's like you said before, Thunder Rosa is gonna be the one to beat Britt Baker, but now it's like, okay, who are we putting in this week and whatnot, huh? Because like we seen the same people almost on TV, and we talked about who they keep pushing, like they're trying to convince us that, hey, Anna Jay and Penelope Ford are that great because we've been putting them on TV left and right, and we like, dude, they're not really that good and whatnot. But like you said before, they're holding the Kiera Hogans of the world back and whatnot, not even getting a shot, who are better in the ring and whatnot, but we're putting the botch machines out there. Because, like, the most people we see Tay Conti a lot, we see Anna Jay a lot, we see Penelope Ford a lot, we see the Bunny a lot. And it's like, who really, it's like tonight, who in a obvious mind really thought Tay Conti was going to win the title? I went and got myself coffee during this match. This is low key a
Man.
cool down. Low key a cool down. And then you talked about was it the curb stomp thing and just no selling and whatnot?
All right, before we even get to that though, because that was my main problem with the match, other outside of not believing Britt was going to lose. But real quick, the main problem is they went about this TBS tournament backwards because the women in this tournament should be the ones that are going after Britt, and the women they're throwing at Britt should be the ones going in that tournament. Ty Conti should be in that tournament, not fighting Britt on pay-per-view. Meanwhile, you got Sheeta, you got Ruby, you got Thunder Rosa in this tournament. Like, why are they not fighting to fight Britt? Why are they the ones going for the secondary belt when the secondary belt should be for those who need to come up? A Ty Conti, a Penelope Ford, a Kiera Hogan, maybe. Like, why are
Yeah, Jade Cargill and others.
exactly. Why is the tournament being used with these kind of women? Like people are saying, well, Ruby's going to win. She's going to be the first to. Well, I'm like, Ruby should be going for the main championship. She's TV ready. She's done this already. Why would she be going for the secondary title? Same with Sheeta, who's already been the women's world champion. Thunder Rosa, who hasn't been, but is on that level. Like, what? Why are these women going for the secondary title and Ty Conti is getting a pay-per-view championship match against your world champion? Like, that's the problem.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. And like I said, I never really believed Conti was ever gonna win. I never really believed it. And you could tell that the crowd kind of fell off here. They weren't really into this match because they probably already knew who was gonna win. So it wasn't easy to tell. And me and my regular co-host, we talked about this before. It's like, are you pushing like Conti and him because she looks good and whatnot? Because he kind of thought that Conti
Yes.
wasn't really that good. And yeah, because she's hot. Okay, she's hot.
All a spade is spade, yo. You feel me? Like, yes, that's exactly why, yo.
God forbid WWE, did this, then everybody be shitting all over it then. Oh yeah, you're pushing the same blonde women. Like, what do we got here then?
People like to give AEW a pass, and I get it. It's still new. They can still work out the kinks and everything. But
Dude, I
Like,
see
bro,
AEW get so many. Dude, come on. I see so many people on the internet give AEW so many passes like they can't do no wrong. Okay. I've seen that a lot. That's why there's people I know they don't like kind of interacting with online because there's oh no, you shouldn't question this, you shouldn't question that, and that's why people call the fans a cult sometime. Okay, like I've seen these type of fans online, and they act like AEW shit don't stink or Tony Khan can do no wrong. Like, because I said that, like, what the fuck was this nigga a fucking genius at wrestling all of a sudden? Okay, like I fixed the women's division. Like, dude, we just explained like almost for what 20 minutes what's wrong with the division right now and what we saw tonight and stuff. But he's fixed the division, though. Okay, he can do no wrong apparently and stuff. But we question things. Then we're the bad guys. And hey, I'm a fan of AEW, but I'm not afraid to criticize and say when stuff is not good and it sucks. I'm not gonna suck their dicks here. Hell, I agree with Bischoff to some
it's
extent
facts, bro.
sometimes.
You just gotta tell it like it is.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
This-
I, I just like I see the whole cult following. That's why people see people on Twitter all the time. Like the fans are like a cult. They are like a cult sometime, and like if you disagree with them on anything, they're all no, you shouldn't be saying this, and all WWE fanboy and stuff, or just oh no, you don't understand. This is this and this is that, and I said that like dude, like think with your brain. Like stop being a fucking mark. We're all I guess we say we're all marks at the end of the day. But it's like, dude, like I get it. You hate the WWE, but let's look at logic sometimes at the same time too. Okay, because I've said before about the women's division. That's why people say, oh, it's better. Like it's improved a little, but I still think it's the shits. I still think it's the worst thing on the show. The women's have a long way to go on this division. Okay, so it's just I've just questioned who they pushed and whatnot. And listen, Baker's gotten herself over. I will give Baker all the credit in the world. Baker has gotten herself very over. Is she the best in the ring? No, but she's at least developed a gimmick that has made her the most over woman in the company right now. Okay, because now it's almost we look tonight like, oh, Tay Conti's the biggest threat. Now we're looking at her like she's some judo master killer. Like, well, how come we haven't seen that on TV then? All we've seen her do is hang
exactly.
around the fucking Dark Order.
Exactly. You're not saying nothing I don't agree with, bro.
So, yeah, I just question this stuff a lot. Okay, you gotta question these things because it's like, oh, no, you shouldn't question this and whatnot. But like, dude, this doesn't make sense half the time. Like, we talk about the women's division almost every week on this show. Okay, like, what is this? Why are they doing this 2-minute match? Oh, why am I seeing the Bunny versus Anna Jay again? Penelope Ford again. Take Conti again. But some will say they're gonna get pushed because they're hot and whatnot. And then it's like you said before, the ones you got we see that are better. We can go back to Kiera Hogan, United Center. People were pretty mad that she's jobbing to Jade, even though we're pushing Jade to be at the top and whatnot. But still, Kiera Hogan's not no fucking scrub. She is a name. It's not like it's some jobber we just seen for the first time. It's like she's been on TV. She has experience. I don't want to hear the whole, oh, nobody watches Impact, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear that. Okay? Like, dude, she is a name. She is something, okay? Some people know who she is. Even when I was out there at the first dance show, people knew who she was. And they kind of questioned, like, we gotta go to the whole, you gotta pay your dues type of thing and start from the bottom, I guess. But we talked about before. Ruby comes in, immediate to the top. Kiera gotta start from the bottom. Maybe because Ruby's a WWE name at the same time too, so they're gonna put the WWE people more at the top. But
It's probably what it
we
is.
spoke, and we talked about before too. Race, really, it's a race thing also.
Yeah. The
So
true test will be once these new names can come over after 90 days. I mean, you got a Ty Valkyrie, an Ember Moon, and a Mia Yim floating around. I would make the move to get all three of them. I mean, everybody says you can't sign everybody, but if anything needs some help right now, it's that women's division. So those
yeah,
three,
Yeah,
That's the way.
you definitely need them because it's like the division is still not really good. Okay, it really isn't. It's like it's still very bad. So, like I said, we know Thunder Rosa will probably win the title and whatnot, but how many opponents is she really gonna have to face after that that are credible threats other than being challengers of the week and whatnot? Because I'm sitting there like, who are you gonna bring in next, or whoever gets released from the WWE? And at one point, people kind of thought, nobody doesn't really talk about it that much nowadays. But hey, people thought Tessa Blanchard was going to come in, but obviously she is, untouchable at this point. But then again, I even said before, Tessa couldn't save the fucking division on her own at the same time either. And that's
You
not
need
bringing
more
up the
people.
race shit for a minute, but not bringing that part up, the race shit. But like, was she going to save the whole division too? No.
Nope.
So, like I said, this division has a long ways to go. But hey, Tony Khan fixed it. Remember?
You need at least 6 women at the top of the division that can give you bangers anytime you call upon them. And they have Sheeta, they have Rosa, they have Deeb,
Oh yeah, Deep.
they have Ruby. That's 4. Britt can handle her own, but she's not a general, right? So
Yes.
that's why you need to sign these other 3, and then you should be good. Everybody else can be brought to that level by these women, but you need that core women first. And they don't have enough of them, and the ones they do have, they aren't featuring enough. So that's why we get a situation like tonight where, yeah, the match was solid. Ty and Britt didn't do anything wrong, but there's no heat to it because nobody believes Ty's going to win.
There you go. It's like, who, once again, that brings back my past argument. Who believed she was really gonna win? Did anybody really believe it? Crowd didn't believe it. I'm sure everybody that watched this show tonight didn't believe it. I could call up 4 to 5 people right now that probably seen the show at this point and said, "Oh yeah, Baker was gonna win regardless." They probably would have said that already. So it's like, come on, who'd you really think was gonna win this thing? Okay, because right now it's just like, okay, who's Baker challenging this week, and who's challenging this month? And like you said with Dynamite the other night, look what they had out there. Let's put Anna Jay out there. Let's put Rebel out there.
Oh
Hater,
God.
Jamie Hater, I'm okay with, but yeah, let's put Rebel in them, and you already know how that's gonna turn out to be. It's gonna be a botch fest. Okay,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a botch fest. So, like I said, man, this division it's got a while to go, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's improved like drastically because it has not. It's still got ways to go. I still think it's still overall the drizzling shits. Will they sign all those people you just named? I don't know because people are like, oh, people are saying with contracts right now, maybe Sasha's gonna join there or Charlotte's gonna join there or Paige is gonna. I'm like, does Paige even wrestle at this point?
They just have to show that they care about the division because it doesn't matter who they bring if they're still going to treat them the same. Unless I mean, if I were a Sasha or a Charlotte, I wouldn't want to go unless I get some guarantees. Like, all right, we getting at least 15 minutes on Dynamite every week. On Rampage too, bro. I mean, they put a Jade Cargill squash match on there because that's an excuse to have a 2-minute women's match on there. But
And
like,
Santana
come on
Garrett
now,
is really good, but we got
bro. Thank you, bro.
Santana Garrett's jobbing though.
Just like Kara Hogan, bro. These are women who've been what a decade plus wrestling, and they out here jobbing like they got to start all over again. Like, what are we doing, man?
Yeah, Santana been in for a while now, and I know she didn't really do nothing on NXT also, but she been in for a while. Okay, so it's not like you said she's been here for some years now. Okay, so why is she jobbing? It doesn't make any sense. And like you said before, they want to talk about let's do an all women show. Y'all far from that.
That was such a dumb question. That was such a stupid question, man.
I'm like, dude, y'all know we're ready. Unless you do some variety show with other companies, like what the whole NWA one did recently, then okay, maybe y'all could probably get away with that. But doing it on your own talent, that ain't gonna work, man. It's not. It worked for TNA, okay? It worked for them back then. because they had some people and they could legitimately go and whatnot. So it worked for them. But like with AEW right now, it's like, nah, that's not it's not it's not gonna happen. Like I've said before, even I know we've been talking about the women for a while now, but I can go all the way back to that tournament they had where it was the America Japan thing. It's like, if they did one where y'all could have brought, and this is when they were working with Impact, but if they had brought in the knockouts, I said the knockouts would have probably out wrestled all of them.
They definitely would have.
Put Deanna Purrazzo out there and see what happens.
Man.
So boom, there you go. Or put Jordan Grace. Like, come on, Impact got a lot of talent over there. Mickey James, Martinez, and whatnot. They got Tasha Steeles. They got some people over there, Rosemary and them. So they got a deep division down there and whatnot. So yeah,
That
like
Impact deal was such a waste, bro.
say what?
That whole Impact deal was such a waste, man.
Yeah, it was that. And honestly, I'm kind of glad it fell one side. I told you before, it was very one-sided to me. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. At first, I was like, okay, Omega's on Impact. Oh, okay, I'm cool. But what rubbed me the wrong way was when they did the Tony Khan, Jacksonville Dixie there promos every week. And it's like, hey, let's just shit on Impact every week, which unfortunately, all that stuff was legitimately true he was saying. But it's almost like, hey, watch our show. And I was like, well, how come Impact don't form their own commercials and talk about them and say, hey, come watch our show? It was very one-sided. It's not like we ever saw any Impact talent other than the Good Brothers, but that was just only because of the Elite and whatnot show up on AEW. You never saw any other top names from Impact. You never saw Swan. You never saw Josh Alexander. And, some people didn't like it when Christian won the belt because one thing is like Christian has history with the company. I kind of understood, but that kind of some would say it felt like that nobody on Impact was good enough to beat Kenny Omega for the title. Not Swan, not Eddie Edwards, not Moose, not anybody. And they teased the Josh Alexander match. And yes, Omega did bring pay-per-view buy numbers up at Hard to Kill earlier in the year and whatnot. But, in the long run, did this really help? Because I just felt like it made Impact look bad a lot even more. So a lot of people was kind of glad this partnership was over because how much did it benefit them?
Yeah.
It felt one. It was one side. So I was kind of glad it kind of ended now. Maybe one day it could go back if it's gonna be at least on a fair level playing ground. Like at least New Japan, that's on a kind of a even level playing field. But with the AEW one, I just felt it was just one sided as fuck. And you never really say, even like other than Omega, who else really showed up on Impact? Private
Man, I
Party?
said it when it first started. I was like, the only thing I was interested in seeing were the women showing up because that AEW needed women, and Impact had the best division. I mean, that's back when NXT was still NXT, but still, like Impact, the way they handle the women's division. I mean, AEW could have used all of them, and they just opted not to. I don't know, man, but it is
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah, so I'm kind of glad that partnership is over right now because I was like, how much is this really benefiting? Because it was just too one sided for me, and it just didn't look like any other talent. And a lot of people wanted to see some other talent show up, or at least show up on their show too. And what happened to didn't Christopher Daniels show up? And now what happened to that? Yeah,
Yeah,
didn't
for
Christopher
like two
Daniels
weeks.
show up 2 weeks, and now it's like, okay, it's over now. So is he ever going to show back up on TV on AEW at least again? Because that just kind of came and went by.
We hadn't seen him at all before that on AEW.
We never saw him. Yeah, he was just gone. But now it's like, hey, we see him on Impact all of a sudden, and now that went for
And now
like
we
what?
don't.
Now 3 weeks. That was like 2-3 weeks, and now it's done. And hey, Christian had to drop the belt back. So it just like what was the point of even having Daniels even come back then? Because I was like, oh shit, Chris Daniels is back. Like we haven't seen him just in general. And I'm like, and he shows back up on Impact. So, you know, Well, like I said, it was good to see a few TNA original show back up like Kazarian and them, but I'm sure people want to see some other AEW talent, or at least Impact talent, show up on AEW.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know. Like I said, what other talent really showed up? So that it doesn't that whole thing. That's what I said. I'm kind of glad that's over for the time being. But yeah, let's move on to the next thing. Now this is where the crowd actually fired back up. CM Punk and Eddie Kingston.
Something they cared about.
Crowd went nuts.
Something that could have gone either way.
Oh yeah. I've seen a lot, more about Eddie Kingston the past few days. I know people have been talking about that article. I forgot what the name of the website was, but I guess that was like on his whole life. And now people are apparently comparing him now like he's the new Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I mean, I didn't read it, so I don't know where that's coming from. So I can't confirm nor deny if that's an accurate assumption.
But this was really good. This was a damn near fist fight out there. And the crowd, very split and whatnot, because CM Punk, no, it's clobbering time and whatnot. Dude's coming out with the shorts and immediately gets back fist before the match even starts.
Yeah, he came out in the judo shorts. I thought that was awesome, man.
Oh yeah, 'cause this was like a brawl. I thought it was funny when they kept almost punching each other, and it was like, "Fuck you," and then like just like go back into punching, like just strikes after strikes. Then and a lot of people on Eddie's side, a lot were on Punk's side. Punk got booed. Punk kind of looked at the crowd like, "What is going on here?" I thought the craziest thing though when he did the 5 moves of doom, John Cena thing. No.
I don't know if that was always the plan or he just threw that in there because he was getting booed.
Because I was like, do the 5 knuckle shuffle. Just do the 5 knuckle shuffle. I just want to see it. And whatnot. Because I thought that was going to happen. But I thought it's like what JR said, like, damn, this was a fist fight. And, once again, we see another Three Amigos move with Punk and whatnot, too. So it it was crazy. This was a brawl. I think it went like, what, 11 minutes?
I mean, sure. I mean, I don't know, but I enjoyed every minute of it. I wanted Eddie to win. I mean, because it's kind of like I watched the Road 2 where Eddie said he's CM Punk's karma. Like everybody's talking about how much CM Punk has changed and everything, but he's not allowing him to change until he goes through him. And I thought that was some hard shit, man. I was like, yeah, bro, because I mean, like we forget the whole thing that went down with Cole Cabana and CM Punk. Like, dude has done some scumbag stuff. So I thought that was legit. That he was like, nah, you don't get to change until you until you fight me, bro. Like you a scumbag, and you're not going to get absolved of your sins just because you decided to come back and it's all like none of that ever happened, all the crappy stuff that you did, bro. Like
Uh,
I thought that was fire, but I mean Punk beat him and I don't have a problem with that. I loved it. I just wanted Eddie to win.
Yeah, because 7 years out the game, and some people say that Eddie Kingston's now the new voice of the voiceless, and CM Punk is become for what he's fought against for years, but now he's become I guess now what he's fought against now. So now Eddie's the new voice of the voiceless and whatnot. So
I mean,
uh
that's so deep though, because I mean, look at it. He's the veteran that came back, and he's being featured more than other people is. Just like what he was complaining about with The Rock and everything. Like, I mean, that's fire storytelling, bro. Like, I'm letting it play out because that's so clean how they just told that story, and they're continuing to tell that story to the point he even did the 5 moves of doom in the match. Like, I love it, man.
yeah, because at least I can say like we finally got Punk in a meaningful feud, and other than being okay, so who's Punk challenging this week and whatnot. And with Eddie Kingston also, with him being on his own right now until whenever John Moxley comes back, because I got to the point where Eddie Kingston just became John Moxley's little buddy.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of felt like for a while. It's like, all right, Kingston's there, but it's not like he's doing anything on his own right now until until recently. So this is a fire feud right now, and like I said, both of these guys are really good on the microphone and whatnot. And I thought they had a slugfest out there. And like the story, it's very intriguing. Like you said, you gotta let it play out for itself, and it's going good right now. And Punk still won, and Eddie wouldn't shake his hand, and whatnot. But it was a brawl, which I think will continue. I don't know if this feud will continue after this, but I think it's going well because now, like you said, it's almost like the roles are reversed.
It's funny you say Eddie's finally got something going on for himself because it's kind of crazy how things work out. Because I don't even think it was supposed to be Eddie advancing in the tournament. I think it was supposed to be Lance Archer if he didn't land on his head. So the fact that that happened, which led to Eddie versus Danielson, which led to Eddie versus Punk, I'm just curious if Archer didn't get hurt, would we have even gotten this? Because this only happened because Eddie advanced and had that match with Danielson.
That's a good question because, yeah, if he didn't get hurt, then yeah, would he really be in this position right now? Or like it probably would just went a different way. Archer didn't fall on his head and whatnot. So when you kind of think about it, would have been the original plan, regardless, or is this just because just given the circumstances of what happened? So in a way, it's kind of like on a sheer count of luck that he is in this spot right now. Due to Archer being hurt, and okay, he lost to Danielson, and it was a brawl, and he didn't give up. He passed out, and then he just calls out Punk, and then they have that promo battle, and leading up all the way to tonight and whatnot. And like I said, Eddie's more over than he's been before, so obviously it's led to something. I don't know about Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now everybody, it's like Austin and Brett at WrestleMania 13 and whatnot. What if it's almost like a double thing where the people are turning on Punk now, and now they're all on Eddie's side now and whatnot? Because it's kind of how it worked for Austin and Brett back then.
Well, Punk has been putting on his best Bret Hart cosplay since he's been back. So, I mean, I can see that being a thing.
Because it's like, yeah, he's here, but, in a way, he's still kind of condescending and at the same way, too. And, with Eddie's like, you want to come back. You're doing all this stuff for the young guys now. But, what did you ever really do for a lot of us, currently and whatnot, huh? Because it's like, oh, yeah, you want to come back after being gone for 7 years and whatnot, but you've come back and now you're heavily featured on this show, which then again is probably one of the biggest stars they got on this show is him, just given that he's been out the game for a long time.
Yeah.
So like, could this continue? Possibly, but I thought this was great, and it literally woke the crowd up.
I don't really know where you go from here because I mean he beat Eddie straight up. It's not like he did something dirty to do it. He just beat him straight up.
Yeah, because like, does this continue or does this go? Do they go on to something different now? So that's the question after that. Like, he beat him clean, so where does it go? Where does it
And
really
Eddie
go?
even said like it wasn't even about beating Punk. It was just about hurting Punk, and he did that. So I mean, it could just be over. I don't know.
Like a respect level thing. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that next though. Uh, but next though, some which I don't know if I would say this is the worst match of the night. Um, the Inner Circle versus America Top Team in a Minneapolis street fight, which just didn't look like a street fight for almost the first 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, it was like that Evolution versus Shield match that was like no holds bar, falls count anywhere or something.
Oh yeah,
And
I was
the
there.
the first half they were just doing regular tag rules. Like, what are y'all
Oh,
doing?
oh yeah, I remember. I was at that one.
Like nigga, if you don't get a chair, bro, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, payback. Yeah, I remember that one. I remember that match very well. I was there. Yeah, it's like, yeah, we're like, why is this a regular tag match? Just do what y'all did in the Falls Count Anywhere. Just go out there and brawl with each other.
My
Okay, just
guess is that for this match, because that Eddie and Punk match was so hot, they wanted to build the crowd back up for the chaos. So they started off with the regular stuff to get to that point. But I don't think people cared enough about this match in the first place that you even needed to do that. Like, just get right to the chaos and get me into this match because people are getting hit with chairs rather than trying to build us back up for something that doesn't even need to go past like 9 minutes.
Yes, and this feud hasn't really been good at all in general. It's not much to talk about this feud. I'm surprised this match went nearly 20 minutes, but the feud really sucked. It's almost like, Dan Lambert, he's got to come out there, get his heat. Then, Jericho's got to say fat face dipshit and whatnot. But it's not like this feud was never really nothing to talk about. It's like, come on, LAX there, Santana Ortiz, they were just kind of here and there. Hager, Jake Hager's just Jake Hager. Just don't give the man a microphone. It's not really much to talk about. Like, this feud wasn't really good, and it's like, how many people are really on America Top Team? It's not like we saw Jorge Masvidal out there or Paige Van Zant again.
Yeah, the inner circle seems to be best when they're not the inner circle. I mean, when Santana Ortiz were just feuding with FTR, or Sammy was going after the TNT title, all that stuff was great. But as soon as they became the inner circle again, doing this, it's like, come on, man, I don't care about this. And
And
that
like,
could be, I mean, it could be a subjective thing, but I just personally don't. I'm not jiving with none of this, bro.
and it's like the only spots that was really good was, the whole Jeff Hardy tall ladder spot with Sammy. That was good. Getting Baron von Raschke with the Iron Claw involved. And then, they got the weapons and Jericho pulling out the Prince logo. Everybody starts saying Purple Rain then.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff was cool. I mean, once it broke down, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even watch like half of this match because it was just, it was like 11 something at this point, and this match came on. I was like, man, if y'all don't get Hangman and Kenny out here, bro, like,
Purple Rain. Purple Rain. But yeah, but this match is like, dude, what is the point of this feud? And Dan Lambert, and they beat him with a kendo stick, and then I remember Jericho doing the lion sawed, and Junior DeSantos was late on his spot. It
yeah.
was
So
like Jericho
Jericho
had
just
to
stood
hold.
there like an idiot.
Yeah, Jericho had to hold himself there on the rope for almost like a full minute. It's like, where's he at? Where's he at? And like, dude, I'm like, dude, Santos was late. He was late.
And what was he
And
even doing, bro?
yeah, what was he doing? So where was he? And Jericho, he beat Dan Lambert with a kendo stick, and he looked up in the sky, and then he did a frog splash. Tribute to Eddie and whatnot. So,
Which you could tell meant a lot to him, so that's
oh,
cool.
it did. I've seen Jericho dedicate matches to Eddie before, like back at Wrestle Kingdom a few years ago and whatnot. Against Omega and everything. I remember he dedicated to like, both Eddie and Benoit. So yeah, so like Eddie meant a lot to him and whatnot. So like him doing the frog splash, that meant something and whatnot. So yeah, like I said, Inner Circle won, Viva La Raza. So hopefully this feud is over because I don't need to see it anymore.
Yeah, I don't see where you would go from here with, if unless you want to do Masvidal versus Jericho 1-on-1 or something, because Jericho's the celebrity guy. So I don't know.
Yeah, so it's nothing much really to say from this. It's like it happened. It shouldn't have been the co-main event. I know that. It shouldn't have been this late in the show. So it was whatever. So it was what it was. But then right after that, they did announce the newest signee, I guess. Jay Lethal.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, going for the TNT title. And whatnot. Coming up. Jay Lethal, man. Hey, all these ROH guys are jumping ship now.
This man Sammy Guevara coming up to him, tape ribs and everything. Like, yeah, I accept your challenge. Like, bro,
I'll see y'all
take a
Wednesday.
week off, bro.
Yeah, I just jumped off a ladder 20 feet high in the air and getting hit by weapons. But don't worry, I'll be okay in a few days.
And he'll probably still beat Jay, which is even crazier.
Yes, he'll still beat Jay Lethal. It's like one of your biggest signings, which honestly you got to put personally, I think you need to put Jay Lethal up in that main event spot when you think about it. It's Jay Lethal. Okay. And it almost amazes me sometimes that no big company really ever tried to go after Jay Lethal like that.
Well, he's got some alleged baggage, I'll say.
Oh yeah, controversy. Yeah, I forgot about it. What is even before that too with the controversy. So, but I figured he'd probably be in AEW. He's got a lot of friends over there, so he'll be okay. Because we figured all half these Ring of Honor guys are gonna start showing up anyways, and Jay Lethal. And somebody messaged me this tonight on Twitter. It's like, yeah, the franchise player to Ring of Honor just signed with AEW, and they says, yeah, Ring of Honor is dead.
Yeah, because my man just refused to leave Ring of Honor. So the fact that he's popping up on AEW now, signed, he got the graphic and everything. So that's
And
crazy.
now they said the news is that Jay Lethal he won't be at the Final Battle show now for Ring
I
of
mean, he
Honor.
signed AEW. Why would he be?
Yeah, and I said this before with all these Ring of Honor guys. Ring of Honor wants to talk about coming back. In the second quarter of the year next year. How do you know all of these guys? You told everybody to go. You basically told everybody that got released, you better go work somewhere else. How you know if they're gonna come back to you
And they said you can start working somewhere else immediately. That's what the release
immediately?
said.
So how you know they're gonna come back to you now?
So I don't blame anybody for being like, okay, well, whoever want me, make a deal, you know?
Yeah. So now that I read that, somebody sent me Jay Lethal will not be a Final Battle. Like, well, yeah, he's with AEW now, so you
And it makes
know.
a lot more sense for a guy like Lethal to finally be like, all right, let me try something new, considering he's done everything there is to do in Ring of Honor.
Oh, yeah. I remember when he was the champion. Well, he's been champion several times, but when he was just beating everybody and double champion, like,
Oh, that was my boy, that was my shit. Boy, world television champion. And then he
oh,
beat Jay Briscoe to become the double champ. Bro, that was my jam, dog.
oh yeah, this dude basically, yeah, like I say, he was just killing it, like a few years ago and whatnot, just murdering everybody and whatnot, because he's had the title at least like 2, 3 times down
House of
there in Ring of Honor.
Truth.
Yes, House of Truth. Because the only thing I remember he was doing recently was what was the group he was in? The
The Foundation.
Yeah, with Gresham there, Octopus guy, or somebody like to call him Squidward's cousin down there.
He
I don't
might
remember.
stay. Because he's been real adamant on staying with Ring of Honor, becoming world champion and all that. So I mean, a guy like Lethal will leave because he's done everything, but Gresham, he might stay.
Yeah, because I forget who else was in the group they got down there. But yeah, Gresham, he probably may still stay down there because people already thought he was going to be going to AEW or going to Impact because, his wife is down there, Jordan Grace. So people thought he'd probably be going down there. But, like with a lot of these top Ring of Honor guys, like the Briscoe brothers, they may end up in AEW, possibly. Or who else is a top guy in Ring of Honor?
Uh,
Um, who else?
Brody King.
Brody King, EC3,
Yep. Flip Gordon.
Flip Gordon. I think PCO left.
Josh
Uh,
Woods, they push him a little bit.
oh yeah, Josh the Goods Woods, Silas Young.
Hmm.
Um, Bandito, Rush.
Roosh, yeah.
If dude Rush will end up back with Andrade, this Los Ingobernables will be back soon enough.
Seems kind of beneath him now, doesn't it? I mean, man was world champion and everything.
Well, he still had his own Ingo Bernable faction down there, like Kenny King. I'm assuming Kenny King may be in AEW, but they did have like a Los Ingo Bernables version in Ring of Honor though, because it was like Roosh, Dragon Lee, Kenny King, and it was somebody else, but I forget. But it was another Los Ingo Bernables down there.
Yeah.
So I won't be surprised if he goes back with team with Andrade again. I could see that, and at some point maybe they bring Naito in from New Japan and just reform the whole crew back together and whatnot. So I can see that happening. But Jay Lethal, it's finally glad that he's finally getting a top spot and actually on TV and and stuff. So we don't really, like I said, unless you follow Ring of Honor like that. It's always been said, what TV deals Ring of Honor really ever had that was good.
Mm-hmm. All
So
syndicated, so not a very good one.
yeah, it's like unless you can actually watch Ring of Honor like that, like hey, good for you. But a lot of people could not watch Ring of Honor like that. They really couldn't. No, okay. So it's a lot of things that why Ring of Honor is in the position they are right now. I would say AEW is partial blame to that too, to why Ring of Honor is in the state they in. But expect more Ring of Honor talent to be showing up. Like Jay Lethal, it was gonna be bound to at some point.
I'd say, I mean, I know you already talked about this before, but I'd say AEW is probably last to blame. I mean, they'd be on the list, but there are quite a few steps that happened before AEW was even formed that kind of fuck Ring of Honor, including Triple
Sinclair,
H.
Triple H too, Sinclair, poaching of talent. Um, like I said, Triple H basically taking half the Ring of Honor guys and basically forming PWG on a budget that was NXT at the time. What I would say even AEW, PWG on a bigger budget now. But poaching talent,
Oh
bad
yeah, Tony
TV deal.
Khan's a huge Ring of Honor mark. Ring of Honor, PWG, you can just tell.
Oh yes. But bad TV deals with Ring of Honor. Just like I said, Sinclair all in. I think that was another thing to it. Just and like I said, I know AEW is like some last on the list, but I've said it before. Your top talent leaves, they go form their own wrestling company. Look what they have accomplished in the past 2.5 years, and look what you guys have done for the past damn near 20 years.
Yeah,
So,
they got on TNT in their
yeah,
first year. That's insane.
a major television network. Ring of
Immediate.
Honor. What TV were they really on? And the only times I've ever really seen Ring of Honor on TV was wow, I gotta go back real far. HD Net in 2010. That's when I first kind of discovered Ring of Honor. Was on HD Net in 2010.
Yeah, that
And
sounds about right. 2010. Yeah, that's probably where I started watching it too.
I saw Seth Rollins' last match on there, Tyler Black. I saw when Kyle O'Reilly was starting out.
Yeah, he was Davey Richards' little young boy or whatever.
Yeah, so like I remember seeing Ring of Honor on there and then on Destination America then.
Yeah.
And I started probably paying attention to more because that's when Bullet Club started showing up and AJ Styles and New Japan and all them then the partnership. So and stuff. So it's a lot to blame what happened to with Ring of Honor and the pandemic too. The pandemic really really did hurt them, which was like kind of the icing on the cake.
That's why I said AEW, they're on the list, but they're like last on the list because it was just so many steps before AEW's like takeover pretty much that pretty much led. I mean, you said Sinclair, we mentioned Triple H. I mean, their top stars leaving because they weren't shelling out them big bucks for the Bucks and Cody, and then the pandemic and all that. So it's like, you know, AEW's on the list, but I wouldn't just be like, yeah, AEW's to blame for Ring of Honor going under. So,
Yeah,
you know,
a lot would say Sinclair and just it's $1 billion company, but then isn't Sinclair like millions of dollars of debt right now? That was said.
I have heard that. I don't remember where I heard that. Maybe you told me, but
But
yeah, I've heard that.
I was hearing that, and you said they might as well just sell the company.
I mean, yeah, if y'all, if the parent company is in debt and this company isn't getting you any money, then yeah, sell it. That's what you do. That's what you do. If you think, especially that tape library, boy,
Oh
man,
yeah, that's the main thing that people will be hunting for is the tape library.
like if I'm Tony Khan, since they own All In, I'd make a move for that. Sure.
Yeah, because ROH is the one that owns All In. That AEW and them, ROH owns that footage and whatnot. So yeah, it's like, they probably would have to go for the tape library if that was the case, because what else is there? Like literally, so it's a lot to put on the board. Just to blame to what has happened with Ring of Honor, and let's remember also these guys were in Madison Square Garden like 2 years ago.
Pretty much built off the fact that people thought the Elite would be there.
And New Japan was the ones that killed it down there, and Ring of Honor kind of shit themselves.
Yeah, they put the world title on Matt Taven.
There you go. And I just remember everybody popped bigger for the New Japan stuff, and the New Japan stuff was the better part of the show. I don't think everybody knew who the Ring of Honor stuff was. Like, what? Come on, how many times you gonna see Bully Ray versus Flip Gordon?
That went on for so long, man.
So that went on forever, like forever, and everybody said, Bully Ray may show up in AEW next. I'm like, really?
But why? To what end?
Yeah, to what end? It's kind of like he's got Devon with him.
Even still, like,
where's it
why?
going to lead to? Why? What's going to lead to? It's not going to lead into. I don't get it. Like I said, it's like half those names. I'm not even sure where they all are going to end up. People said they need to sign Danhausen.
Yeah, I don't get the Danhausen buzz, man. But that could just be a subjective thing.
I'm trying to understand it. I don't get it all the way. Also, like I've heard his name here and there. I know of him, but I'm like, I don't know why everybody's so infatuated with him. No, so I'm still trying to kind of figure it out. Like he's got some gimmick that looks like it's working for him, but it's like,
Yeah,
all right,
good for him. No hate.
yeah, good for him. But it's like, people go, yeah, they need to sign him. They need to sign him. So yeah, it's a lot to blame and whatnot. But like seeing Jay Lethal on here tonight, it's a big move. It is, but we figured some of these Ring of Honor guys are going to start showing up at some point here. So they're all released. They can go wherever they want. So I don't know, because this whole ROH 2.0 thing, I don't know.
I just don't really know. And I'd put Lethal a level above Bobby Fish, but I'm going to say the same thing I said about Bobby Fish. I just don't know where Lethal fits in to AEW right now, because, I mean, unless you're going to, like, at this point, and I'm not going to tell Tony Khan how to run his business, but at this point, I feel like I'd only be shelling money out for women and top stars like a Keith Lee. If Keith Lee's contract is finally up, a Bray Wyatt or something, like I don't know where Jay Lethal fits in their plans for AEW, but he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy they'd push to the world title scene. But they've already got a stacked TNT title scene, so I don't really see where Jay Lethal is going to fit in. And I'm just basing this off of who's already there and how they're handling people. I don't really see what they're going to do with my man, and I'm happy for him. But it's like, as somebody who watches the show, I don't see where you're putting Jay Lethal in AEW in 2022.
Yeah, because like I like the guy. I've always thought he was great, but like, where is he really fitting in and whatnot? Like I said, Ring of Honor, yeah, he was at the top. He was killer. He was the man down there and whatnot. I've liked them in both Ring of Honor and TNA and whatnot, just for many reasons and whatnot. Either being the world champion, or from being Black Machismo, or just doing impressions of anybody because he pulls it off so great. Just Jay Lethal's I've always liked Jay Lethal, but where is he? What spot is he really fitting in right now? Like, hey, I'm happy to see him here. That's cool.
Yeah, because the
But
world title scene is very much planned out. Like, if nothing else is, the world title scene is probably mapped out. Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Like, they were building this Hangman shit for like 3 years. So the Jay Lethal's not coming up anywhere near that anytime soon. So what are you doing with Jay Lethal that you weren't or couldn't already do with somebody you have on the roster already? Like, I don't know. we'll see, I guess.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I guess then with that. So yeah, like I said, it's good to see him. But where's he fitting in? Where? Like same with other guys like Fish and them. Where are they gonna fit? Like, so yeah, like I said, with all these guys y'all sign, what spot are they gonna fit in to do that great? So yeah, we'll see with Jay Lethal though. But finally moving into the main event though, Hangman Page, Kenny Omega with Don Callis, AEW World Title on the line.
Any idea how long this match went?
It went 25 minutes, 35
Wow.
seconds.
It felt like it was at a pace that it wasn't going to go long, and I was kind of surprised by that. And I feel
Felt
like
short.
if they didn't put that street fight before this, or they just didn't have that at all, then this match could have gone closer to that hour mark. Because, like I said, this is the culmination of a 3 year story with Hangman that kind of just ended, you know. And then that was it. Like 25 minutes, it was a really good match. I felt the right guy won, but I was really going into this expecting like a 40-minute epic or something, like just because of how long we were telling this.
Yeah, just like a lot of insanity going on because I'm like, oh, ref bump, and okay, Don Callis gets involved, and then the Bucks, which they did not do nothing, they just stood there and watched, and Heyman still won decisively, but you kind of expected like some more crazy stuff to go down and whatnot. I like the whole little virtual going through the city of him riding in the horse and whatnot, but I don't want to say it ended very anticlimactic
It
and
was
whatnot.
abrupt.
It was just like, okay, Hangman won. He
Like there
won.
wasn't enough teasing, you know what I mean? Like he went for the one winged angel once, and he didn't hit it. Like it'd be a whole other story if he went for it, he hit Hangman with it, and Hangman like rolled out of the ring or something. Like there wasn't enough drama before the final fall. Like it just ended. Like
Yeah, like it wasn't enough build. It wasn't enough of the face, just doing what he can, trying to scratch and claw, using any type of tactic he can, to still survive and fight against the dominant, heel champion out there. Because, he's going to use every other, kind of dirty trick in the book at the same time, too. And the rep is down. And, how am I going to do this still at the same time? What's going to happen? All his cronies are still going to try to come and, stop me from getting what I got to get to and whatnot.
yeah, it was such a brisk pace. Like even the ref bump, like the ref got bumped. He hit the dead eye, then immediately Aubrey's running down in the ring. I'm thinking, y'all got to milk this, right? But they
Yeah,
didn't. It was like almost right as soon as he hit it, like she came out.
I thought I was gonna go like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, she's already there. So it's like, oh, you're already there. Okay. And it's like you thought that was gonna happen. And Callis gets in and Hangman punches him, but then the Bucks just come out, slowly walk out there, and they don't know what they're gonna do, and they just look, and Hangman just, hits the Buck shot, it's over, and he wins the world title, and they send the Dark Order guys, and they just have a little quick celebration, and that's it.
Yeah, Kenny ain't even go for the Phoenix Splash or anything. Like I need him. I've come to expect certain things in Kenny's storytelling that I don't feel like I really got in this match that I thought I was going to get. Like, I mean, when he came out and the person held up the sign, what would Coda say? And he looked at it for a long time. I'm thinking, oh, that's good right there. But like, there wasn't really any of that. Like, no tease of a BTE trigger or like there was nothing, bro. And then it just ended. And that's not to take away from the match itself. I mean, I thought the match was really good. I left it satisfied, but at the same time, it didn't hit that extra Kenny Omega gear that I thought it was going to hit.
Yeah, like you kind of may expect it more, and maybe some more suspense, and it's like, how could we try to hype the crowd up a little bit more doing this whole thing? What else could have happened? What else could we have done? How much time is gonna be out here? and whatnot. But it was just kind of like, hey, it happened, the match happened. I don't want to say it was too basic or anything, but it had a couple good near falls here and there. But it's almost like you kind of expected more, and after the ref went down, you kind of expected way more to happen.
Yeah, it was like they were trying to hurry it up. Like they knew the show was going long, and they weren't trying to burn people out anymore. So they were just trying to get all their shit in that they could in a allotted time and get the moment before they went off. But I was just like, this is why I said certain things should have been on the pre-show or cut completely or whatever, because you were telling this story for 3 years and it just kind of came and went in this match. Like, I don't know, give me 40 minutes.
Yeah, because like y'all done went from him, oh, he's in the elite. Then yeah, he was going for the world title. Then he lost. Then he's got a drinking problem. Then he's all depressed. Then he go hangs with some jobbers then for some odd like reason and hangs with them for a while, and then he's gone again after he loses his world title shot, and he's got to go have a kid, and you know still get extended time. Then he's back again. Then he finds back into the world title picture and whatnot. It's like I'm going through all these trials and tribulations. You think it'd be a very big, just big ending that's gonna just send the crowd into a frenzy.
Like even the video package felt short before the match started.
A lot of these video packages were really short.
Like if y'all feel like you're strapped for time, then y'all need better time management. This is not the match that you cut time from. You should have cut that street fight 25-minute. That should have been cut, bro. Like this match should have gone maybe not the distance, but it should have gotten close, man. I mean, you tell me you got an hour time limit and you didn't even hit 30 minutes. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, and it's like, it's sometimes with AEW, it's like they don't let stuff breathe. It's like, rapid fire, move on to the next thing, move on to the next second, move on to the next thing as fast as possible. We gotta fit all this shit in.
And I'm not even trying to be like down on this match because I really like the match, but it's just they've set such a precedent with the storytelling. Like if you go back to the Revolution tag match with the Bucks versus Hangman and Omega, all the stuff they fitted in that match, the storytelling and the subtleties, and like I've come to expect certain things from these guys, especially Kenny, and it's just like man, after all this time we've been waiting for Hangman to win the belt, and then he just does it. Like there's no drama to it. Like
Yeah, you kind of like expected more. It's like supposed to be this big climactic thing, but then it was like, okay, Hangman won, he did it, buckshot, there you go, celebrate that's it. We'll see you on Wednesday.
should
So
have felt like more of a struggle for sure.
oh yeah, so it definitely was a time thing. And at the same time, this is a very long show at the same time too.
Long as hell, man.
Like very long. I noticed a lot with these AEW pay-per-views that they go very long, and I mean really long. Like I said, 4.5 hours type of long and whatnot. So I feel like more could have been, but like you said, they're most likely pressed for time. It's like, okay, we got all right, get your shit in, and we gotta get out of here. We can't stay on the air anymore unless you gotta go to the, I don't know, the online part of it then or something.
The celebration didn't go very long. Like they like it just ended, man. Like
We held them up. That's it. It's like
like
no.
this man Kenny was running through everybody, winning titles and other promotions. It should feel huge that somebody beat him for this world championship, but it just came and went. Like
Yeah, like no confetti or just like, I don't know, maybe have his family out there and his newborn son and whatnot, or just like a lot of things. Just let him get his big moment. Let him get his shine.
and it's possible they did some stuff off the air after the show went off, but it's like come on, man. We were in this for so long. Like this had to be the perfect crescendo for this championship win, and this I don't feel like I got that. Even though I like the match, I don't feel like I got what I was waiting for.
Yeah, have his family out there, like kind of show some concern or something like that. Like once again, build the suspense. It's almost like you just kind of expected something big, but it was just kind of like, all right, match was good. It happened. He won. That's it, and we go off the air. Like it was a little, but it wasn't as much as you expected it to be.
Yeah, it almost felt like the first match in the series, like Okada Omega. This match isn't going to go too crazy because we got to save stuff for the next match and the next match and the next match. But AEW doesn't do that. They don't really do rematches for championships. So this is probably going to be it, just one and done. So if that's the case, then 40 minutes, bro. Give me all the drama. Make me feel like Hangman might not win this match, but it came and
Yeah.
went.
Yeah, like I said, just give, some suspense. Give me something like that. Give me just a little bit worried, jump out my seat. Like, you're like, 1, 2. It's like, oh no, he didn't get it. Can he get it? Like, you just want to build to all the way to, he gets the win. Then you jump in the air. Like, he did it. 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 Like that type of thing.
Like, imagine if Omega hit the one winged angel and Page rolled out of the ring and Kenny is fighting to get him back in the ring, but he's dead weight and he's got to push him back all the way back into the ring. And then Hangman gets a rope break or something. Like, just something to make me feel like, oh, this isn't going to end the way we all think it should. But, whatever. I'm probably being redundant at this point, but it's just like, yeah, that's how I felt about it. When it was over, I just didn't feel like, man, that match was crazy. I just felt like, oh yeah, that was cool. Good for
Good
him.
match. It was just a good match. So that's how I looked at it. But just looking at a overall standpoint of this entire show, um, I probably would have given it just kind of grading it since we're at the end of this thing at this point now. I want to say maybe a 8 or maybe a 7.5 out of 10. I don't think it was big as All Out.
And that's so crazy, man, because it had the finish we were waiting for, but the finish didn't come the way at least I was really hoping it would come. And I always say that wrestling fans need to be able to separate. Just because I would have done something different, that doesn't mean this is bad. But I don't know. I was satisfied, but I still felt unfulfilled by the main event. So I don't think it felt as big as All Out either, even though it probably should have because Hangman won the championship, and that's great. That's awesome. So I don't know. I'd probably go. I know I feel like I'm shitting on it, but I'd probably still give it an 8.
Same here, and maybe people probably would have expected a surprise to happen at the end too. Maybe somebody shows up or something. Some probably will expect that because I've been hearing everybody say, "Oh, Bray Wyatt's gonna show up."
I like the fact that that this pay per view wasn't built on who could possibly show up. It was just straight up, look, we're going to give you a great card, watch some wrestling, and call it a day. And I'm completely happy. I mean, we even got Jay Lethal. That was a nice surprise, but it was pretty much just built on this is just great wrestling.
Yeah, because All Out, they just threw everything on the table. Like they threw
Everything, bro.
like as much as they could. Like full gear. We're making sure we're trying to put on at least a great wrestling show and whatnot. And like I said, it was still a really good show. And like I gave it 8 out of 10 because I liked the main event. I liked MJF and Darby. I did like FTR and the Lucha Brothers minus the finish. I thought Danielson and Miro was really good. I loved Punk versus Kingston. I'm trying to see what else was on this card. The
Falls
women's
Count
match.
Anywhere.
Yeah, the Falls Count Anywhere was pretty good. I think people should take that one. You could take that one either way and whatnot, but I still think I think it was good on some levels, but it wasn't that bad. But I can understand why some, will probably not like it and like it at the same time. The women's match was kind of It just never really had any danger of Baker really ever losing. I just thought it was like, it was okay. Wasn't bad, but I just thought it was okay. I didn't need to see America Top Team and Jericho again. Cody and them, like you said, they probably could have just been on either the pre-show or probably could have done that match on Wednesday and whatnot. And the main event was the main event. So I thought it was a pretty good show. I think they did
That
good on a lot of parts. Like you
that
said,
middle part is really why I give it maybe 7.5, 8, because that Cody match, the women's title match, and then skip the Eddie and Punk match, but then that street fight those three matches are what's bringing the show down for me. And it's not even that the action in it was bad, but the women's match was heatless. The street fight just felt so unnecessary. And the Cody match, I just didn't feel like it needed to be there either. So, the wrestling was good, but if this show didn't have those three matches on it, it probably would have been a much better show, especially the street fight, because then the main event would have gotten more time.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, because like I said, if you shaved off a few things from here, like you said, it would have been really good. And I think another thing to add also that this show was very long. This was a four and a half hour show. It was very long, and after a while, sometimes you just kind of get fatigued and kind of wonder, like, okay, when's this show ending? I think that's
Sure.
another thing to it, just how long it is, and that depends sometimes when it comes to longevity, because it's either going to be one of those things where it keeps you excited throughout the whole night, or it's going to keep you excited for a minute, but then it's going to fall off, and then you're going to have to wait for your excitement to come back when something good happens.
Yeah, and that's why you get those cool down matches, but they kind of had two in a row with the Cody match and then the women's title match. Then they brought everybody back with Kingston and Punk, and then they brought everybody back down with that street fight. So, you know,
Yeah,
although
they
the
just
crowd
kind of
seemed to like that street fight, so maybe it is just a subjective thing.
yeah, crowd just kind of like flipped in They flipped up and down several times, though. Yeah, probably it's subjective. Like they were alive, but they weren't alive at the same time out there. But yeah, you gotta look in both of those ways and whatnot. What comes to the crowd, but like you said, just the longevity of the show, it was just very long, and like I said, it probably could have been shaved off. Probably a few more minutes, or at least close to an hour and whatnot. Could have done that.
Yeah,
So
that
that
sums it up.
yes, that's how I would look at it. But yeah, like I said, overall, it was a pretty good show. I didn't think it was bad though, and it was a good card. I'm kind of glad this was on a Saturday also.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I'm glad it was on a Saturday and not Sunday. 'Cause I know Sunday was all out, but this time it was on a Saturday tonight. But yeah, like I said, we'll see what happens this Wednesday on Dynamite and whatnot. So the Fallout show, I guess I should be saying, and whatever leads into next. But yeah, overall, a pretty good pay per view. Wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad at all. But since we're near the end of this now, you got anything to plug? Follow any of that? Go right ahead.
Uh, if somehow somebody made it to the end of this, because I know we've been talking for hours.
We've been on this 2 hours and 12 minutes.
Sheesh.
I
That's a
know.
long ass time. Almost that's half a pay per view, bro. I was just talking.
Yeah, I tend to do that a lot sometimes with people when we do this thing.
That's because we just chopping it up, bro. We just two
Yeah,
bros
we're just sitting there
just,
chopping. That's what
just
every
talking.
Yeah, because dude, imagine if we had more people on here. Imagine how that would have went. Then I probably would have to start managing some time then.
Yeah, then we would have went the length of all out.
Yeah, because like you just like I say, you just get to shooting the shit sometime and kind of lose track a little of the focus point and whatnot. So that's probably why it went real long and whatnot. But hey, there was a lot to say about this show. This was a very big show.
Yeah, plus since we haven't done this, we probably have more to say to each other about certain things, so we haven't really gotten to air it out like this before. So, it was cool, like the Cody stuff, the women's division and all that. So, it
Yeah,
was a good time, man.
yeah, Ring of Honor, all that stuff, releases, how this incorporates into what's good, what's bad, what's all what it has to do with this show and whatnot, and just the company itself, and what's been going on. If like I said, whether it's good or bad or anything that incorporates into it. So that's how you look at it, how I look at it too, and whatnot. So like definitely, it's a lot more detail and what was being talked about tonight, because I'm sure people are, oh, what if this happened, or what if this going to show up? So people thought Okada was going to show up here tonight.
Didn't need him.
He wrestled in L.A. tonight.
Where would he even have shown up tonight?
Yeah, where was he going to show up? Like where? Because I was like, "Oh, Okada's in America, so he may be showing up." I'm like, "Really?"
To
Yeah,
do
because they
what?
gotta do what? Like, dude, they got a New Japan show already happening in San Jose. So, what do you mean? Like, he's gonna show up at AEW?
What, after Hangman beats Kenny, Okada comes out and stares down Hangman? Why?
Shit, might as well give him the fucking belt then.
I guess people just,
Yeah, it's
well, I'm not even going to say that came out of nowhere because Tony Khan was the one that was teasing that shit. So,
well, yeah. We get Okada here. We're gonna get this guy. We're gonna get that guy. Yeah. We're gonna make sure, like, yeah. Can we kind of make it secret here? Like, let's not give every hint away.
it was all over Dynamite. They kept mentioning Okada. So I can understand why people would think that, but the show didn't need him.
Yeah, especially name drop a whole bunch of times, you probably would expect it to happen then. So yeah, you probably didn't need him and whatnot, but it would still would have been cool. But like, dude, do you really need to be here? Like, just let him rest his own show tonight, okay? That's how I would have looked at it. But yeah, like I said, overall, like I said, it was just really good. But yeah, you got anything you want to plug though?
Yeah, Voodoo Child Soul. Go stream that album, Spotify, Apple Music, all that good stuff, man. DARLE, we stay making music. True dropped Soul Revival 5. Man's Pegs just dropped some. Weber 2. Apollo always dropping Mask Tape 2. I mean, we out here, bro. We about to drop a new album, collab joint. So, I mean, whatever, man. DARLE, Black Shxggy, man, we doing the thing, bro.
All right, cool. Yeah, but yeah, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at Hooded Knight 890. Like I said, this has went almost 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes. We have talked about this whole pay-per-view tonight, though. Like I said, probably would have been longer if we had more people, though. But yeah, this was a
Yeah,
very
have fun
fun.
uploading this.
Oh yeah, it's probably gonna be a while throughout the night, but yeah, this was a very fun show. It's fun to do this review. Like it's the first time we've ever done this one and whatnot. I've done this with different people in the past, but this is the first particular one we have done together and whatnot. So this was really fun and was really well. I wanted to do this anyways because I'm like I got to get them on it. I got to. This was too big
Yeah,
of
I've
a
known
show.
you for almost 10 years now, believe it or not. So I guess it was about time.
Yeah, it's definitely about time because there's other people like oh yeah, we got to do this, man. We got to do that. Like that's why you see so many other different people on this thing lately and whatnot. It's like I got something to say. I want to come say it on the show. Yeah, I got something to say. I got a review. Let me be real, or like I said, because you probably seen people debate on this show before, anyways.
Sure, man. People get heated about their wrestling, man.
Oh yeah, I tell you, man, go watch the Charlotte, Becky one, the Charlotte Sasha one with the. I told you what's the name of them arguing. My co-host and my other friend arguing.
See me, I don't care enough about nothing to argue with nobody about anything, bro.
I know, like when you see it, it's really funny though. The way they was going at it was fucking hilarious though. If you just saw how it went, like they was like, oh, what you mean she better than you? Hold on now. I don't know, like, how dare you say this about her? So I thought it was pretty good, but they was like going like, no, well, you have to understand, she's a bigger star because this and that, and it's a pretty good review though, debate, but and whatnot. So I thought it was pretty good though, but yeah, like I said, other than that, subscribe. I got uploading to do and whatnot. You hold on for like one quick second as I stop the recording. No, but yeah, I will be back or whatever the next review is. I'm sure the next joint one will be next Sunday with my regular co-host because he wants to get in on Survivor Series.
Boo.
Boo. Raw versus SmackDown. There hasn't been any build.
The one night of the year that Raw and SmackDown go head to head in direct competition.
Just because this time.
Just because.
Will someone be acknowledged? They need to be acknowledged, or they need a king. I don't know. WWE, man, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. We need
Yeah, I
NXT.
made a conscious decision to stop watching wrestling that pissed me off. So, you know.
Yeah, man, you really ain't going NXT no more, ain't you?
Nah, NXT can go to hell, bro.
But let me hold that. Yeah, but yeah, you all that part, and yeah, everybody else. The recording is basically stopping right here. So yeah, like I said, fun night tonight, and like I said, we will see you all for the next review. Let me just